We are ending the year 2025, and we are about doing something important to actually put the year in perspective. Today is a reckoning. We stand over the body of a year that asked the only question, and we'll be asking the only questions that will matter today. Is the patience, which is basically the Republic of Ghana, stable, critical, or in recovery? The symptoms, many people will tell you, are everywhere, from the choked rivers we see in the heartlands of our country to the ashes of our great markets that went up in flames. The silent tension we continue to see in the courts of our country and in many parts of the jurisdiction. Now, this particular diagnosis is basically to help us understand what exactly is happening with our country, what has improved since John Dramani Mahama took over the affairs of the country, and where we will be taking the country in the year 2026. We'll trace how a single theme, the contest for power in 2025, infected every organ of our national life in the year 2025. We'll also connect the fight for party leadership, particularly within the MPP, to the paralysis we often see in Parliament. We'll also link backroom legal maneuvers to to front page arrests that we've seen, including the high-profile ones that have been reported across the country. We'll also show how the battle to control the land poisoned our rivers and shaped our foreign policy, particularly with recent tensions we've seen between Ghana and Israel. And this is going to be an exciting program. I invite you to be part of the discussion. 053-9986-996. We are stripping away the headlines to reveal the mechanisms of a consequential year. With me this morning, I have my expert witnesses, Umar Sanda Amadu, who is my in-house colleague, Elvis Kwashi, who is the editor-in-chief of the News Center. Forgive me, Elvis Dako. Elvis Dako. Forgive me. Elvis Dako. Larry Dogbe, who is the editor-in-chief of the Herald newspaper, and Andy Kankambwedu, who is the editor-in-chief of the Informer newspaper. Myself, Richard Della Sky. Now, our inquiry will follow the evidence. We'll begin with some of the very troubling stories that have actually affected our emotions this year. We'll also examine how institutional reforms have happened, whether they are actually reforms or they are aimed at something else, and also the proposals that have been made at various levels. And then we'll also assess the impact that this year has had on our wealth and our earth. And finally, we'll be diagnosing its lasting effect on national psyche. So this is 2025, the autopsy, and we will be starting effective immediately. But I would invite you again to send us your comment, 053-9986-996. Gentlemen, Happy New Year in advance.
Many happy returns.
Because Sky didn't introduce me. Can you?
Oh, Umar Sana, yes, I mentioned.
No, we didn't hear.
Oh, Umar Sana, my in-house.
Me and Elvis, we didn't hear.
Oh, okay, you had gone out.
I thought because I didn't eat edge, so you are discriminating.
But this one, nobody has eaten edge.
Hey!
Oh no, this one nobody has.
Please speak for yourself.
But you drink milk.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's leave it here.
Gentlemen, so how has been the your Christmas, and we're entering the New Year's? Let me start with Larry.
Oh, it's been well. First of all, good morning to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
It's been well. It's been eventful.
Yeah.
It's been fruitful. All the people who were expecting to do the needful didn't show up.
Oh, they didn't show up?
No, they didn't show up.
I like that part.
They didn't show up.
But look at the highway.
Oh, especially Umaru Sanda.
He
promised us some beef and milk. He didn't show up.
Okay.
But he's been forgiven.
He's been forgiven.
Yeah.
That is good, because we are in the season of forgiveness.
You see,
that is good.
Something occurred to me the other day. Do you think Christianity preaches forgiveness.
Yeah.
But do you think Christians are forgiving Judas Iscariot?
Oh, I think they have, because if you don't forgive him, then you can't go to the
I
kingdom.
don't
of God.
think.
But there are worse Judas Iscariot in the Christian faith today than Judas himself.
We will not go there. Today is the defense. Andy, let me hear from you.
Larry said it has been eventful, but
Yeah, that's right.
those
Performance has been
those
so
that
good.
who were expecting
They have
Phil
not
to show
performed.
up, they've not performed. So if they are listening,
They know what to do.
once we exit this place, they should do the needful.
Yeah, Elvis.
Oh yeah, by grace of God, we are alive. So we thank God for life. That's the most important thing, be in good health. And as for the finances, this in very bad health. And as the season is looking good, personally, I'm just thinking of how am I going to resume my production next year, because financial matters. I'm so broke. I have no money.
Is that
I
bad?
don't know whether I can restart. I can even resume production next year. So once I'm supposed to be celebrating, I'm thinking about continuity of my business, and the celebration is gone. So for me personally, I'm not really celebrating because my business has serious financial problems. I don't know whether I can resume production of my newspaper.
No,
next year.
I think it-
So really, though I'm supposed to be celebrating, I'm not celebrating because the future doesn't look. I'm not certain of the future of my business. So I'm not really celebrating. I'm rather thinking more.
Well, the good news is that the government is thinking about some fund for the media, and I hope that, you know, listening to you, there may be need to actually incorporate some of these realities, because I think Larry is facing the same problem, Andy is facing the same problem, and these are generally problems facing newspapers particularly, and of course the radio stations and television stations are equally affected. So there has got to be a way of injecting capital in a meaningful way so that we can deepen democracy, because without the media, democracy can't actually get to the doorsteps of the people.
Very, very important. And you see, that's a conversation nobody is having. And the announcement by the government that they want to establish a fund, I think it's good, but then we need to have a real conversation about what really are they talking about. Well, remember President Morse set up a media fund. If you ask about accountability of that money as of today, if you ask what was the money used for up to today, you can't get a million. I hope we don't repeat that mistake that happened that time. They should have a broader conversation. Know if it's radio, what are their needs? If it's print, what are their needs? Television, what are their needs? Then how will government want to meet? Maybe television, maybe halfway want to meet print.
Whether you're helping
so
the
that
government
at
or
least,
not. If you're not helping the government, they will help you.
No, you see, this conversation should because there is no media house in Ghana. Even if it's the 100% against government, about 80% of the content is talking about what government is doing. Government has commissioned this, president has said this. In fact, the media is virtually doing government's work free of charge.
That's right.
Those that will say they are even against government, it's only about 20% of their content, and that is even big. They will ask people, if you play music for 1 hour, what has that got to do with government? If you do sports here for 1 hour, what has that got to do with against government? If you do a cultural event, what has that got to do against government? So if you analyze content generally in Ghana, even the news that we all talk about 80% are all actually doing free publicity for government. So clearly, there's no media house in Ghana and anybody will say that it's completely against government. It's a fallacy. There's none. Every single media house in this country is doing about there's a lot of free work for government. But the government doesn't recognize it because you are supposed to pay all the taxes every business is paying. The media has not been exempted for any tax. So when they are 240 announced, you should have said media houses that don't make million Ghana cedis in a year should be exempted from VAT. Then I know that something is being done for me. But as we speak now, if I make 1 cedi,
they want something.
The government wants some out of it because you will be registered at a standard VAT. Standard VAT is what you be registered.
You must pay.
And so it means that any amount of money you make, 21% per the new review now it has come to 20%. Has to go to government.
That's right.
And then you are now going to talk about payee. If you have staff, you have to pay for them. By the time you see about 30 to 40% of the money you make goes back to government. Meanwhile, the money is not coming. So this idea of you are not supporting government, let's take it. It is not the case. Every media house supports every government in this country. So we really need some form of incentives for the media. If we can be given some tax reliefs, if government can say, I want to look at media specifically in terms of radio and television, it's about utilities are huge. Is there anything you can do about utilities for them so that they can do something? There's a whole lot of things that government can sit down with the media, talk about, and they can do for the media and all help.
Beautiful. I'm sure that the minister will take your contributions, your concerns into consideration when we are establishing the media.
So it's
fund
not
and
just
how we
about establishing the fund, how the fund will be
Exactly.
properly to serve the intended purpose.
I'm always
You recall during the COVID period, I think a fund was set up to go around the media houses.
Okay.
It went to specialized media houses.
Oh, I see.
I wouldn't want to mention
I see.
names,
Okay.
but I know colleagues who
I think at the time we condemned that.
who went for
I
it.
condemned them
for COVID
because
funds.
Yeah.
COVID, people went for COVID fund.
Really,
I
for
was
this
there.
time,
Oh yeah,
Wait,
you went for
somebody
it.
called
No,
me.
at the time I'm sure you were in London.
Yeah, I was.
So you see, all these things are needless. If it's a fund for media, why should they be
Why
selling
did
it?
they- I think it's
so
wrong.
Yeah, no,
I
no.
pray that this fund will end up in some constituency chairman's account or something. It will happen.
Yeah, sometimes all kinds of funny.
It will
things
happen. I've been praying that one day somebody should go write my name that I've been given some fund when
will
I've
not
not
receive
received.
He wants
Then
to
you
fight.
see.
License fees for television and radio.
Yeah.
Why should a Ghanaian owned radio or television be paying license fees?
Yeah, there's an issue there.
It's if you look at the work radio station and TV are doing for government free of charge, why shouldn't you get a license fee free of charge? But now you still have to go and pay some huge amount to NCA as license fee. If you don't pay the we are shutting you down.
Let me
The
chip
same NCA is doing something, they come and cover it for me free of charge.
let me chip in this. You can't decouple the media from democracy.
Yeah, it's important.
Now, if you want, this is what this is participatory democracy,
Yeah.
and if you want the people to be involved in every step of the way, support you all through, engage in policy debate and all that, approval, you need to free the space, get the media, put the media at the doorstep of everybody. Open up the airwaves, let people make contribution. That is the only way that we can get to whatever destination we want to get to. But to make the operations of the media so expensive, you're buying newspaper the same rates that the guy who is let's say printing
Commercial.
Doing commercial printing is buying. The same taxes, the same, levies, the same everything. And yet, you are supposed to be, people are even also going to have
But we
to
are
buy the
competing
newspaper.
with the state-owned media.
Media.
Who
That are-
receive some support here and there.
You get it. So it becomes very difficult to run, the media in this organizations in this part of the world. Again, as Elvis said, you have going to pay utility bills here and there. You're having to pay workers. You're having to, take care of even ink and everything. You have been in the newspaper business before. It not be easy. And then, we face a culture where people don't read much.
Yeah.
Listen, you could put your best stories.
Yeah.
You had investigated a thing from wherever to whatever, and then a friend who had you review,
enough for him.
exactly, the newspaper, for instance. It's not enough for him. He could call you and say, I just heard your paper being reviewed by Richard
Can you send me a link to the story?
Can you send me a link to the
It's not going to get it.
Subscribing and getting
Listen, go on the internet to go and do that. Or just buy a copy and say,
No.
You
Send
just
it to me.
Send it to me. I just want to. Can you even summarize the story? What's the story about? You get it? So that's the difficulty we face as newspapers. Daily Graphic is having its own issues.
Yeah.
Ghanaian Times is not exempt from that. Spectator, Mirror, all that. Chief, it's not a
But the
joke.
government plan was talking about state media.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't
they
think
said they
so.
want to get some support for state.
Yeah,
media.
that is there, but I think the plan includes what happens generally to the media.
So
in this
we need
country.
to have a conversation
Exactly.
on this whole fund.
You see?
Yeah, I think GJ and the Primpag and these are the important arms of the media in the country. Should be taking up that.
I always
Interestingly, President Junfo Albert also runs a newspaper, so he appreciates the difficulty.
Exactly. He needs to do it just the way he does with the campaigns for greater respect of the rights of journalists. I think he should take
we
that
talk
up.
about public interest journalism.
It's
But
important.
nobody is asking who is paying for it.
Yeah.
You want me to go and investigate that story? There are resources to get it done.
Yeah.
You are not asking where am I getting it. Meanwhile, you see the paper the whole day. There's no advert in any page. You are not asking how is this person financing this newspaper
it's a tricky
that I have so much expectation that I should be able to do what the big papers out there are doing. Where is the media house getting the finances to go out there? They say we should report Galamsey. I've asked, is there any fund that anybody can access if I want to go to some deep forest to go? I'm risking my life and everything, and then I have to spend my own resources to go there and get the story. And at the end of the day, if I publish the story, I don't get 1 CD for it because I don't even have a single advert in the paper. So we have real issues. See, when they say the media, people criticize the media because they don't even know what the media is going through.
The challenges
the media have this big image it creates. As people are listening to us, they say, "Hey, Elvis is on radio. Hey, this guy is a big guy." People have this and the big guy means that you have money.
Yeah, but you are crana.
The big man is Victor Bruno.
You understand it? You see the problem? So the person, if Elvis is on Citi talking, this guy must be rich. This guy is the big guy. He must be in the link of the big guy. Your rent has expired in your landlord one that you can't even pay. Just a chamber and a hall, you can't even pay rent. But the person has a big expectation of you because, hey, they mentioned in the name of Elvis, Elvis must be a rich guy. No, this interviewing people is holding people accountable. That this guy must be powerful.
It doesn't work.
Powerful only in words and pen, but not powerful in the pocket. But then powerful in the pocket as well. So really, we have real issues in the media, and when they see the 1 or 2-3% at the top who are doing some side issues to be able to drive a big car. The assumption is that every media guy is driving a big car. Every media is as rich as them. And then the perceptions differ. So people have all kinds of wrong expectations about the media. And so they think that we are very rich people. The people out there think that if you say you work in the media, it means you are a rich guy, you have money. But you are poorer than the poor in Ghana. You are among the poorest people in Ghana. But then that perception. So we really need to have a conversation around if the media is to really serve us, as Larry has said, if we want content to be at the doorstep of everybody, then really government must have a certain role to play in terms of support in certain directions. Today we print our papers and we go and give it to vendors. If it's not bought, they bring it back to you in quantities. But if we decide that we'll have a distribution bureau with a government support, and now we will make sure that the papers get to all offices. I tell the number of people want to read the paper, but because the money they have to use to go and buy, that's why they are not buying. You'll be surprised.
That's right.
When I started my paper for this 1 year, I've not sold. Every month I spend money to distribute. The day that the paper doesn't get to the office, they call me, today the paper didn't come. It's not that people don't want to read.
They want to
it's
read,
about accessibility.
That's right,
but the cost of distributing the paper is so expensive.
Yeah.
If we have a system where, for instance, we have a distribution bureau and maybe an oil marketing company decided they will provide fuel for us and we will do adverts in return for them. And we have government support to buy the vehicles that will do the distribution. Some money to pay for the circulation officers who go to do the distribution. Papers will be in every office and people will get the chance to read.
Exactly.
If you have 2 CD data today, you can read every story online. That is why they say people are moving online. It's about accessibility. So if government is coming in for support, the question is, how do we even create accessibility? That if I have a paper here and northern region is too far, can government provide a simple printing press and say, this printing press for print pack? Those of you who want to distribute your paper up north, when you are finished, just send it, let them print it and get distributed up north so that your paper is also up there. So government is giving you the printing press, manage it as private newspaper publishers, and then make use of it. That's what I'm saying, that this support that they want to give, they need to have a conversation. It shouldn't be like what President North put some, I think it was 3 million Ghana cedis. Today, if you ask, they're going to say, go to GJ, you go to GJ, so go to Giba, you go to Giba, so go here. Everybody everybody's pointing at where you should find the money. We can't find the money.
Aside government, among ourselves, as media houses, newspaper owners, we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you. We need to have
Not
that conversation.
everything.
Let me bring
government. No, we should also have a conversation among ourselves before we move to government to have a very quality and come with some concrete steps as to how to assess these funds.
I think there has to be some agreement on the front of journalists in a united way, and then that will be presented to the government as the common position, and hopefully with the necessary modifications we can improve it to serve a useful purpose. But there is also the need for the media generally to also find a way of diversifying. I do know that all of you have your portals which you use, but the point here is that even Ghana, we've not deepened subscriptions online.
Sure.
So in some cases you subscribe, paywalls are erected, you want to read a particular story, you pay an amount for it, or you subscribe the whole year, or maybe monthly or weekly. But we have not deepened the media industry in that respect.
And one thing I also want to put across
before that, let me bring Umaru. Yes, Umaru, yes.
Yes, Ella, good morning.
Good morning.
These lamentations that I'm listening to from seniors is scaring me. And you know, when I first started this job, 15 years ago, I started national service, and I remember I went to cover an assignment around the British Council. I was running around doing interviews, doing my things. I think Oboshi Sai Kofi's father, they were doing something for her or something.
Yeah,
Professor Sai.
She was in charge of HIV related.
So something around. So then a fair colored man called me, and he said, "What is your name?" And I said, "I'm Omar Rusanda. Which media has access to Citi FM?" I said, "Okay. You are doing a good job, but I want you to know that this job, it doesn't pay." Oh. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, and my name is David Amano." At the time, David Amano, BBC correspondent.
Yes, BBC in Ghana.
In Ghana.
David Amano.
So that day I was broken.
Oh, wow.
If the man who works at BBC is telling me that there's no money in the job, then it means that there's no hope. So honestly, from that day, I resolved that I'm not going to make money. and
you haven't made money.
And listening to my seniors now, I think I should just go back to my cattle business.
And you have so, more money in the cattle.
You are doing it on the side, but you are serving the Republic. Yeah, very important.
Charlie, the Republic should serve me back. The Republic should serve me back. But anyway, so you're asking about how the season is going. Charlie, this is the first time I am seeing a Christmas period without Hamatan. Who sucked the Hamatan out of the air?
Oh, really?
Have you seen any cloud?
Well, the weather is funny.
Maybe not in Accra.
Not in Accra.
Yeah, but by the time you're chewing Christmas chicken, there should be some. Is it fog they call it?
Yeah, fog.
But we don't see it. Nothing is happening.
No, but it's not only this year. It has started like about 5 years ago.
It rained 2 days ago.
Kanka, what is happening in Pando?
It rained 2 days ago in December.
Yes,
I mean, who expects rain like that?
Climate change. Weather change.
So for me, that's one of my my
my
bigger issue is, I mean, I had my own personal problems this year. Not my person, but my family. And
Oh, dear.
I mean, yeah. So it's
You've had to deal with a lot.
yeah. Because I mean, for decades, having lived in my house, not seeing death, thinking that Charlie, everything is okay, and then the old man just goes.
You thought you were immortal.
Yeah, I thought it was invincible. I thought death had forgotten about our family, and then it came visiting this year, took our father away, our big umbrella, and then my sister just last week. It was a big one. And we are still trying to adjust to that, but God knows best, and so yeah, I wouldn't say that this year has been good.
It's been a very terrible year. You won't forget.
Yeah, but as Muslims we say Alhamdulillah to everything. God knows, He gives and He takes, and so yeah, we move forward. So yeah, we hope that 2026 will be better.
Exactly. So we hope the Lord God would properly provide a covering for your family as they go there to do the needful with Allah. It is an important part of our journey as human beings. We come here and we transition to join the majority, and I hope that in the fullness of time we will be reunited.
Thank you. But we are also trying to get you to join Islam You know, there are,
Let me.
there are things that come with it.
You are not correct. Anyway, so
It's campaigning.
don't mind
It's
it.
evangelizing. He wants to win you.
I'm dangling nice things in front of him.
He doesn't know that even back home, my grandmother has always
I dangle the things before the man.
You know what that is? That's Islamic evangelism.
So if you come, we'll give you something.
You took us to a place, and I think perhaps we should just stay there.
Yeah.
We've seen a number of system failures this year, which resulted in all manner of, tragedies and, in some cases, catastrophic developments. One of the biggest ones we saw was the Cantamanto fire, which razed down completely a section of the Cantamanto market. But it was quickly rebuilt. We also saw some other market fires which created a lot of problems across the country. First of all, your quick recollection of that, and whether, given the fact that we have rebuilt that market so quickly, without any real reforms, we have learned any lessons.
Do we learn any lessons in this country, Sky? I mean, we saw our foreign affairs ministry go down in flames, and the building is still standing there like a skeleton. We haven't rebuilt that particular one. Now, what we have done is to successfully build back markets that have been burnt. And you mentioned the Cantamanto. I remember I went there to cover the news for the ChannelOne newsroom, the CNR. And within a week, the stalls were back, and they were moving in wood and roofing sheets and all of these things, and they were quickly rebuilding. Now, there are some conspiracy theories that governments engage in distraction of communities so that it will take over and build them properly. In the Cantamanto case, I do not think the government, I do not believe that conspiracy theory worked, but I thought that it was a great opportunity. That fire has raised the place. It has come to ground zero. Let us now move in and build a structured market, a market that we can say looks decent, not just some biara thing. And yet we watched for the same people who were affected overnight to bring 2x4 wood, plywood, and put up the same defective system that we had. So I think God saved us and wanted us to, rebuild that market and make it look decent. But clearly we are not thinking, we don't care. And we decided to let the same thing happen. So the fire that we saw could repeat itself, and there will be no plan because the fire tender cannot enter the market. The reason the fire tender cannot enter the market is because there is no lane. So there are no alleys. It's just a multiple number of kiosks and shops that have been put together in one slum-like place without any access routes, so that it will take a car forever to move from one end to the other with a lot of ago and honking. We have fire tenders, the thing where the water comes from.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you call it? The thing that they put the water so that
The hydrant.
Hydrant. Yet someone is allowed to build a kiosk on top of that hydrant.
Or
A shop. So you are coming to buy shoes, which I usually go to do. You don't, because you go to very big markets. I mean, very big supermarket and those big shops. I still remember the one you went to in London. I remember, what's the name of the place you went to in London to buy your shoes? I should continue. You go to buy shoes in Cantamanto. And where you sit to test to fit your shoe is actually on top of a fire hydrant.
Wow.
And that's in someone's shop. Now, how can the Ghana fire people connect their hose from there? They won't even know where it is. So for me, the Cantamanto fire was supposed to be our savior. Unfortunately for us, we are not serious with a lot of things, with a lot of structures. And so the opportunity that we got, we ended up losing it. We saw the demolition of the Agbogloshi area by the former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quarty. We thought something massive was going to happen there. It has not. We are seeing that the people are coming back bit by bit. Before we realize, all the demolition would have gone to naught. We do not have parks in this Accra. Sky, you just want to take your family and go and sit in a park and just feed pigeons or, I don't know, whatever birds, maybe ducks or whatever. On an Odo, you have lived in London. Imagine if we fix Odo to look like the Thames, where Agbogloshi and those places become the green park surrounding the Odo drain.
With doves, birds, other, you know.
You can do fishing if you want, if Larry has a hook and line in his car. You can do fishing. You can just simply just relax and enjoy the environment. We don't have that. And for us to have cleared that big place like Agbogloshi, I thought by now there's a plan that we are putting up something. They said they were going to be the hospital. I'm not seeing the hospital coming up. We have seen a market go down, and we allow for the same thing to come up. We could have built, say, 5-story structures or 3-story structures. Our oldest or most popular market would be Makola. You sit and you watch Makola market, and you are wondering, what's a slum? There is no structure, there is no plan, there is nothing. So it's just, everybody is inside there some. And it is for this reason that we have a lot of traffic build up in the city center.
It doesn't make sense.
During President Mills's time, I remember they said that the big trucks coming into Accra were the cause of the problem. So they decided to stop all of them at Amasaman, divert them to Ajinkotoku. They built a secondary school, they built a fire station, they built an ambulance bay, a clinic, and a market.
Onion market or something like that.
I don't know how that is going. Now, if we're able to restrict this, the plan was that all the big trucks divert there and discharge. Let the small trucks that they call Abosoka and Macho, let them bring that stuff into Accra. I thought that was a brilliant idea. If you're going to the central region, there's an onion market, and I think it's Henry Cortez after he removed them from Agbogloshi. Some of them moved there. I think it's a brilliant idea that we have that. Let's expand the city. Because Accra is so choked, and Accra is choked because we have no plan. So everything you need, you have to go to the city center. And even though we have shops and stores, we still have hawkers. And it's as if in this country we've decided that hawking is a profession. I went to Rwanda as way back as 2012. I didn't see a single hawker on the road.
Wow.
And yet they're also making money. So why look, there's even a pedestrian shopping mall in Circle. Nobody patronizes it. Just say we are not serious.
So we need to learn important lessons. Let me bring Andy into the discussion. We saw a similar fire in the Ashanti region. What's the name of the place?
Blue light.
I mean,
and the politicians moved in quickly.
They simply moved in quickly with a
help,
lot of money, sort of sympathize with the people and to encourage them to
rebuild. Like Omaro said, 2010. We experienced this fire outbreak at Kantamanto. I personally suggested to President Mills that, Papa, this is the time that government must move in and take custody of that place. I think Okuvandapoe was there. He called him. What can we do? Have this organized market. It must be fenced, gated, so that by 6 o'clock, everybody should be moving out of that market. Where we have these small kiosks, people have naked fire, this cylinder and all
sockets, all of them have to be checked.
But the report was that that parcel of land is owned by some family.
Okay.
Yes. So you have to go through some procedure to have that land.
Compulsory acquisition.
You are a lawyer. So you see, that land is not owned by government. So when we suggest that, when it happens, government should move in, it will be very difficult. It will be very, very difficult that, because this has happened, government should move in, take custody.
Yeah, but the Constitution allows for compulsory acquisition and compensation paid at market rate.
But my point is, when we play politics with everything in this country, the political will. They'll move in. The constituency will move in. You can't do that. Don't you know we'll lose power? So the political will too is very important.
Okay.
I hold a view that as leaders, it's not everything that we should play politics with. because these are livelihoods that every year, it's a ritual. It's something that will happen. Because yes, the reckless nature of the way we do things will always occasion some of this. And like you said, they will move in. The owners of those shops will move in to build. It's not government. Government, like the politician, will only come with something small to help them, cushion them.
Yeah, but that also encourages,
but what I'm saying is that
the reckless way of planning.
They send them roofing sheets and
roofing
things
sheets,
to build
iron rods, and whatever.
without any order.
But what I'm saying is that they don't have the political will. The local assembly they will make a paper to perhaps the region that when you do this, they won't vote for us. Don't you know that this is our stronghold?
Okay.
It happened. I mean, it happened. I recall that vividly. That it happened during Neil Ante's time or whatever. The constituency people moving that no, we won't allow you. We won't allow this thing to happen. They must build. They must allow the people to build them, the market themselves, and they want them to build. So all that we are saying is about leadership. We should show that strong leadership, that political will, that irrespective of the party or whatever stronghold, we must move in, take custody, and make sure that things are done in orderly manner. That is the only way we can build a very progressive, prosperous Ghana. Because, like Omaru just said, you have traveled, I have not traveled.
Oh.
But I read. I read. It's not about discipline. It's about discipline. Is there indiscipline?
He's a local breed.
Yeah. In fact, myself and we travel to where? Is that your place? We go to Akachi. Akachi. So you see, it's the indiscipline. And the local assemblies must crack the whip.
It's important. Let me bring Larry into the discussion. Larry, we saw when I introduced Larry, Andy into the discussion, I mentioned the Kumasi situation. Again, we failed there because it became competition for votes. The MPP people went there because they felt that it was their stronghold, and they went there branding identity. So the Ken camp, the DMB camp, the what's the name, Champon camp, and the other ones.
The highest contributor.
Exactly. And we are seeing that whole area rebuilt without any plans.
True.
Is there a way we can change this?
Yeah, as Andy mentioned, the political will is everything. You get it? There are people who feel that this whole thing we are calling democracy needs to be redefined. Okay? Because there's a feeling that the people have more power than the people who have been vested with the power to change their lives, shape, the way, the new thinking, new direction. But at the end of the day, as I said, the people decide what they want to do, because the politician is afraid that if he goes against what the people want to do, they would punish them during the election. So you constantly hear the statement that, oh, okay, you get it. Or sometimes they tell you that no power, no vote. Or we decide, you come back to us, Kokromoti power. You see, the Kokromoti power, I think the politicians would have to be ready to lose power. You get it? They should be ready to lose power. That I'm doing this, and that regardless of whatever it is, damn the consequences, as he's saying. I think that what I'm doing is right.
Is that it possible, especially
we've all been to boarding houses, okay, where you had headmasters who, at the time we entered the school, were the most wicked. I mean, we saw teachers or masters who, he won't spare you when he meets you in town without Ezia. When he gets you for whatever the reason. I recall, when I got to Bishoema, Kankan will know, we had a senior housemaster we used to call Gidigasu. And Gasu back then was the most wicked guy to most of us. Atagidi. Oh yeah, I mean, come on, the guy could even meet you in town and lash you.
Because it was not a democracy.
Yes, but listen, yes, we came back, and then we appreciated who the guy was
and what he was trying to do.
Exactly, and what he did to us. Maybe today we might not be wherever it is we wanted to be, but we are at a certain level where we know what is good from bad. Can we have leaders like that? Listen, you recall Jerry Rawlings growing up, who entered the gutter to clear filth with the soldiers and everybody. People were like, oh, Jerry, why are you doing this? The president shouldn't be in there. Yes, we've had presidents who only directed. They were never in the gutter with the people. You get it? And filth is still with us.
But Henry Courtney nearly succeeded.
Was he in the gutter?
He was directing affairs.
He cleared the people. But, I mean, beyond the clearance, what happened thereafter? Was there money?
So there should be a system. Your point is that there should be a system in place.
Exactly.
To ensure that even where there is some effort to clean up the city, the system is self-perpetuating. To
sustain itself. The people know that, listen, this is what it is. Listen, you couldn't just clear the people and leave the place bare. Other group will come and occupy.
Which is what we have done at Sakumo Ramsar side. We've gone to do the clearing.
And people are going back.
You get it? So all you succeeded is to clear one group of people for another group of people to walk in. Yeah, because you left a vacuum.
But you raised an important point. Politicians must be willing to lose power.
Yeah.
But you have someone who's going to sell his father's house. That's where he's been living all his adult life. And he sold it in order to make it to parliament.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, he's been given the minister responsible for local government. You want him to preside over a system to enforce, which effectively kicks his party out of power and which takes bread out of his mouth. I mean, is that possible?
Then we should. I mean, I think your argument should rather be that the people whom he gave the money to after selling his father's or his grandfather's property should have refused that. Should have refused voting for a character like that. Because obviously, I mean, he's made some huge investment. He needs to get back. I mean, that's like the Machiavellian thing, eh? You know, sell your mother to go and get power. After you've gotten the power, go and buy your mother back. But by the time you got to wherever it is that you sold your mother, she might have been killed because the people bought her for a reason. You get it? That is where we are. The people should refuse taking that money to say that, listen, this is what we want you to do for us. And so then with that in mind, they know who they are voting for or who is best suitable for that particular position or that particular job.
Okay.
But this is where we just, people come out of school, no experience, nothing. Okay, they haven't been on anybody's payroll before. The next moment, they are on their way to parliament. They are on their way to ministerial jobs. They are on their way to, senior position that demands a certain degree of experience and quality.
So they will fail.
So you come there to clear the people, all right. But then what was the thinking that went into that? After you clear them, what do you intend putting up there that benefits everybody? Okay, what was the narrative or the communication backing that, particular evacuation? Nothing. So you clear the people and you are found wanting. And once you are found wanting, power, what was the word? Power doesn't like a vacuum.
That's right. Somebody will seize it.
Somebody will seize it and take advantage of it and do whatever it is with it.
Let me bring Elvis into the discussion to bring it together for us. I mean, we've talked about the problems. Larry talks about the need for us to develop the political will, drawing in what Andy had said much earlier, and then also the diagnosis made by Umar Sanda. What, in your view, is the solution?
The solution is simple. Democracy is the rule of law. If we're in a democracy, every law we have crafted for ourselves, we have to make sure that those laws are made to work. As long as we're in a country where the laws we have crafted for ourselves, we don't make them to work, we are only shouting democracy, but we are not practicing democracy. The problems we are all speaking here, there are laws that we have in this country that ensure that these things don't happen. But it's because we are not enforcing it. There is a law against building and covering a fire hydrant. So if we sit down and allow somebody to build and cover a fire hydrant, it's because somebody has not done his or her job. That is the problem. I've said it and I'll say it, that this country is not moving forward. And just look at why this country is not moving. Just look at new settlements around Accra. That is where you see why we can never make any meaningful progress in fiscal development.
Explain yourself.
The reason is that we said the old Accra is not well planned. The planning of Ghana and the capital should have started from the new settlements that came around Accra. Yeah. But go to the new settlements that have come up. If it is not like East Airports where the rich and powerful are, or East Legon. East Legon is even being destroyed now. Go to any, from Kwabinya to all the new settlements around. When did Kaswa started? Look at around us, all new settlement in the past 30 years, and tell me which one is well planned. Tema still remains the most best planned city in the whole of Ghana.
Even
Tema.
that is being destroyed.
I was in Tema yesterday, and
It's
Sky,
horrible.
horrible.
I'm saying that even with that,
Tema is
this is the
horrible
most
now.
best plan. So if Tema was done decades ago, and we are a serious country who want this country to look nice, would have looked at how Tema was planned and say every new settlement that is going to spring up around Accra should be built like Tema.
But we even know that it's springing up. We don't.
Do you understand?
It happens.
But here is the situation: we sit down and new settlement. When you go, you can be driving. You are driving somebody's house. You think you are driving on the road.
But Elvis, but Elvis, which part of Tema? Because after the community thing, took off, the subsequent communities, went up.
I'm talking about the old Tema.
As planned by
okay,
Come to 4, come to 5, come to 6, come to 7, come to 8, come to 9,
Up to 12.
10, up to 12.
Yeah.
It's only come to 1.
One-
That's not well planned.
one is-
Oh, one is even also planned.
No,
If
one
you
is
look
not
at
planned.
the
Site
other
1, site 2, and all those
if you
other
compare
places.
to
Yeah.
if you compare to come to 2, come to 3, come to 4, come to 5, come to 6,
One-
come to 7, come to 8, Tema come to 1 is not well planned
One-
if you compare to the other ones.
One is
Okay?
a slum.
And then all the roads are linked to each
Is that the one close to Newtown?
One is that's the center. That's the center of.
So if we are now seeing new settlement that sprang up like the past 30 years, 40 years in Ghana, and they are worse off than even the old Tema,
Then there's a problem.
then that is where the problem
Yeah.
is. Meanwhile, every building code for every assembly tells you that you cannot dig the ground without all the permits from the assembly. Why is that possible? The assembly is supposed to determine that before you put up a building here, they determine that utilities will go through this place. A road will go here. This place will be for a gutter. This place will be for a school, demarcated for school. This place is demarcated for a market. This place is demarcated for a health facility. The assembly is supposed to make sure that before the land is put to any building, all these things are done before the service plots that are left can be sold. People make the argument that it's because the land doesn't belong to government. It is a fallacy. The law says that this is what must be done. Whether a chief owns the land, a stool owns the land, a family owns the land, it's immaterial. Whoever owns the land, the moment you want to put the land to use for residential purpose, these are to be followed. So all we expect and must have been done is for the planning officers in assemblies to liaise with the owners of the land in their jurisdictions.
But the rest stop work.
And let them understand that this is what's supposed to be done. If you don't do it, the land will not be. Then if we had done that, all the new assessment will be looking better than the old Tema. But unfortunately, the assemblies and the planning officers are sitting sleeping and get paid salary every month from the consolidated fund.
But the interesting thing, the Tema story. Just almost the Tema story without the Ashama story.
Thank you.
Or Kanda and Nima.
Yes.
You understand? So clearly, we are pretending as if we don't know the problem, but we know the problem. The problem is that we are paying people who we have crafted laws for them to implement, and they are not implementing, and nobody is punishing those people for not implementing the laws crafted for them.
So enforcement
that
should be the way.
That is it.
Beautiful.
How can somebody sit in an assembly and physical planning and say it's a planning officer for the assembly, and physical planning the entire assembly is West, and nobody is holding that planning officer responsible. How did you sit here for all these things to be done? I've asked somebody last time, if where you stay, if they ask you to show where there's a fire hydrant, do you know where it is?
There is none.
You see, so we are sitting down, we are doing the wrong things, and we are pretending as if we will just sleep one day, wake up, and kind of be like South Korea or Dubai. It is a dream that will never come to pass. The only way it will happen is that everybody that has been given a certain responsibility is held accountable for making sure that what you are supposed to do, you have done it. If you don't do it, we sanction you. If you are supposed to be sacked, you are sacked. Then the next person coming knows that no, this person was sacked for not doing his job.
Exactly.
But that is not the situation. So sometimes we blame politicians. But how did we do decentralization? Why is somebody sitting in South Dine as a planning officer? How is somebody sitting in Tema West or Ablekuma West as a planning officer? And the new area is springing up. People are digging, putting up buildings, and
he's not asking
and the person is not asking any question.
Yes.
He's not reporting. He's not getting anybody to go and enforce. And then you are telling me that
Are they asking the right question? Our solution is leadership at the highest level. And I have and I have said that when President Mahama was elected, I have said that he is our best chance to fix a lot of these things, because he's a man who is not looking at any election. He can damn the consequences and decide that he's going to fix things right.
His party will not allow him.
But he should. You see, but we have to get out of this party thing. And I'm saying that Henry Quartet did it, despite a lot of frustration from his own people. If he was able to do it, perhaps maybe he was physically huge, so he scared people. But President Mahama has that particular power now, and I think he should be the one to do it and say that, Tema Mayor, I don't like what's happening in Community 25. Everybody's going there. There's so much traffic. He should be able to say to us that Spintex has become a slum area, even though it's supposed to be a big place. We have to fix it. These things, and there should be clear instructions to the regional minister. The clearing of the Ramsar site was a beautiful thing, but months on, nothing is happening. So we want to see things like that happening, and we want to see some leadership being. And I think that President Mahama should be able to do that. And I really look forward to doing that. But before, there's a message that has been sent to you from Clement Akapang, lawyer. He says, Richie Sky buys his shoes from Russell and Bromley and Bond Street in London.
I beg you, please stop this. I don't know the place. I have not been there. I have nothing to do with it. 97.3 Citi FM is the station. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. We are auditing the year 2025. And your comments are welcome. 053-9986-996, 053-9986-996. We'll stay with tragedies. In a jiffy, we'll be looking at the crash that caused all of us to break down. The stampede at the Elwak Stadium, and then also the Obogu bus disaster. 97.3 Citi FM is the station. The year in review, the autopsy, trying to understand what exactly happened. So we move to the next set of items, but still remaining with matters of tragedy. We saw the Obogu bus disaster, school children on their way back home from their prayer sessions, and the major disaster struck, killing every one of them on board the bus. Mass burial held, and then not long after, we saw also the Air Force crash, a helicopter going down, killing 8 people on board, including 2 ministers of state. Not long after, we also saw the Elwak stampede. Recruits willing to serve the Republic died as they tried to get enlisted as part of the Ghana Armed Forces. We are reminding you of these ones, not to provoke you, but to try and distill lessons so we know what we can do better. Let's hear the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, announcing the death of the 8 on board the Army helicopter.
Involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region. Government regrets to announce the demise of the following persons in the tragic crash. Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boama, Minister for Defense. Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Muhammad, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Alhaji Muniru Muhammad Lemonad, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture. Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, and Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. The President and government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country. All flags are to fly at half-mast until further notice. Thank you.
Julius Deborah, the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. May their souls continue to rest in perfect peace. Let me start this very troubling segment with Larry Dogbe, who, as the editor of the Herald newspaper, has done a lot of work on the army, the state of the equipment and related matters. Larry, where were you when you heard the news? And in your view, would you say that the investigations that followed the crash have concluded everything and we should move on?
Thank you. Where was I? I think that morning you were the one who called me to check whether or not I had heard the news or whatever you were hearing was correct. Mm-hmm. And then, so you were indeed the one who prompted me to start talking to my contact. And what came up? I mean, several names, were thrown in there. Muntaka was thrown in there. So many other names. I mean, even the president's name came up during that, that short period before. And then by midday, things started looking clearer as to who was actually on board. From your call, I spoke with Broja Jemfi, the Deputy Minister for Defense. And it was obvious something bad had happened. It's unfortunate that these are vibrant young men in the prime of their political career. To have lost them in that situation, I mean, officers who have been trained with state money, gone just like that. Very unfortunate. Equally unfortunate was the loss of equipment, as in the aircraft itself. So that answers the first part. Mm-hmm. The second part being, whether the investigation that followed. Well, something was done by way of investigation. And I think it came out clearly that the state was hiding its inadequacies, its inefficiencies, its shortcomings. That, there was a certain metal that was put in the air. So long as it's, it's in the form of a bird flying from point 1 to point 2, we think that was okay. Because out of the investigation came out that, this particular aircraft didn't have what it takes.
Modern
exactly
for a journey
of that nature. Okay, it didn't have what the communication devices were bad. Other things, so many things were bad about it. So that is one. Secondly was whether or not the Ghana Air Force or the military did the right thing by putting that that morning's flight, whether it was necessary, because it came out clearly that it was foggy, it was raining that day, and because of the weather situation also, the flight was delayed for at least 2 hours or so. Between Omani and myself, we have a good a friend. That is known to this house, Dr. Nana Ensao, we call him. And I was talking to him about, what happened. He was telling me about that morning. He was on the phone with Omani. And Omani had mentioned that, they were flying to Obuasi for a certain event. So just midway, then he had to hang up and said, "Oh, listen, the military people had come and that he was going to pay his compliments to them." And I think the delay was also even communicated, just within that conversation. The next moment he heard about his brother, I think they were in the medical school together. The next thing he heard about him was he having passed in that situation. Lovely guys, people we've known over the years. For the soldiers, we can't say much about them, but the story around is that these are, good officers, fine brains, masters of their class and all that. So to have also lost them, fathers, guys who had just married in certain instances, barely, 2 or 3 months when, after that marriage, and off they went in fire.
Larry, you have done quite a lot of work on the military and the state of, equipment available to the military. You raise, World War equipment in some cases with
Soviet Union.
Okay. I mean,
USSR.
Yeah.
Were you expecting greater responsibility being taken by the state to say, look, we sent these people to where they were going. We were not adequate in terms of providing for them, and on the basis of that, we are assuming responsibility openly, rendering an apology to the families affected, and committing to pay proper compensation instead of setting up a fund, or maybe in addition to setting up a fund to actually support the education of those left behind.
You see, this whole thing can be discussed without the issue of Galamsey. It's Galamsey that killed them. I mean, the attempt to deal with it. Can we do community mining? How can we best define this thing? How can we best regulate it? Where we can have whatever it takes, and then ensure that the environment is properly taken care of. Because, mind you, the NDC campaign on addressing Galamsey.
We'll come to that.
Yes, so Galamsey. Now, compensation, that is for the state to discuss. Obviously, I'm sure something might have been paid, but whether or not it's adequate. I recall President Mahama talking about how their kids' school fees will be funded, or their schooling will be funded and all that from now till university. That is good. Now we can build. It's a good starting point. Can we find out whether the state is actually doing that? Is it a school of their choice, or is it a school that that the state is a public school, or it's a school that the state is imposing on them that we can only do this? But if you need more, then maybe you would have to top up for so and so reason. I don't know what discussion there is as far as that's concerned. The contribution that has been made so far, I don't know the extent to which it's been shared and who got what. I don't know. I mean, with something we can also get involved. On the state of the military's situation, see, I'm holding back. The Ghana military, as we used to know years ago, as we heard about from the likes of General Kwenu and many others who had occupied that high situation or high offices before, it's not what I mean, when you listen to the stories now, I mean,
it's some way.
Yeah, it's some way. Now, why on earth would the officers sit down and go and buy Soviet era 53-year-old armored cars for Ghanaian soldiers to work with? The vehicles have been abandoned. Those that they took to Sudan and other peacekeeping missions, they can't move them to a point where UN is sanctioning us.
Is that bad?
It is that nasty. And officers have been sanctioned. Investigations have been ordered by the president himself. What became of that report, I don't know. 53-year-old, vehicles.
Well, is it functional? The question is,
it wasn't. I mean, the people even the manufacturer, they abandoned it.
If it is functional,
Togbi, I'm telling you, Mozamo, it's been abandoned. Scrap, holes perforated. I'll show you some of those pictures. The report is there. They commissioned the guy who used to be in charge of SEPS, Yorogo or something. No. To investigate it. He investigated it and submitted a report to the CDS. From the CDS, Ministry of Defense, to the presidency. I'm aware of that.
So there has got to be some action.
There has to be punishment. Because what you do with that is this, that you deter other officers who occupy that same position
from doing same.
And also, from doing same. And also that, listen, whoever, nobody will occupy that office again to go and put the lives of military officers in danger. Do you understand? And let me tell you something. Some of these stories we write about, we are not magicians. It comes from the military itself. Somebody who witnessed something and thought that this thing is wrong. Our officers' lives are at stake. And that, listen, it has to be investigated. Officers who sat down just for their greed, insatiable greed and selfishness, to take over $10 million to go and buy that rusty thing and put in those things and giving it to officers to ride on, to disgrace Ghana Army in an international arena, has to be punished or have to be punished. So if the commander-in-chief, a report has been submitted to you, you need to act on it. Particularly when you've also been a victim of that, because they accused him of the embryo thing. The embryo. Exactly. That who investigated the OSP was moving to. Exactly. Listen.
The Airbus.
Exactly. The Airbus matters. See, we cannot even spend one more minute in not dealing with this thing. If it's public, you have to go the public way, do it. If you have to do a military trial, do that. Okay. Then report is submitted to deter even the guy who is in primary school and is thinking of joining the military tomorrow. From having it at the back of his mind that when I join the military, I can cut this selfish deals and make money.
Exactly. Let me bring Andy into the discussion before I move on to my other guests. So, Andy, you did you did some work in the area of intelligence, security studies.
Yes.
You hold a master's.
That is why this our armed forces.
Andy has about how many masters do you have?
Forget.
Stop misbehaving.
This Jerusalem.
Andy, talk to me. Yes.
When it comes to this helicopter crash, I think I was somewhere with Elvis when we
attended the Primpark office. That day, Primpark elections was going on. There was a meeting.
So
we at the office when the incident.
Then we started making the calls. Everybody started checking. Murtala is a very good friend. So we met on Wednesday, and I said, "Oh, bro, how is it?" So, Charlie, we are putting body and soul together, trying to save God and country, but it's tough. These heckling here and there, but we will overcome. So what happened? When I picked the news, I started making calls to some of his close pals, and they said, "Yes, Charlie, Andy, what you have heard is true." So Larry's investigation as to some procurements being made at the military in terms of age vehicles and blah blah blah. While we all knew this fact, it's undeniable that our military had issues with how they should be retooled. And I recall that in 2022 there were these attempts. The Hansard is there, the parliamentary Hansard is there, because at that time I think Ida Agaga was a ranking member. They had done everything with the engineers to have this thing procured. So when it came to the floor for approval, the committee chairman lead whatever, and he made a statement to support that procurement, only for somebody from the minority side who is not a member of that committee, and the committee is Interior and Defense. came, bastardized the whole process. I recall that Muntaka, the interior minister, then as the chief whip, got angry. Haruna, the minority leader, got angry. You are not a member of that committee. The ranking member has done the needful. They've traveled to wherever they want to go and procure these things. They are satisfied. And you said that, no, it's expensive. It's expensive. Yeah. So what has happened?
But he's a member of parliament. If he has concerns about
why?
A transaction that is
so you want to tell me
House.
that you want to tell me that those working on the committee, they have no brains?
Well, they may well have brains, which they do
So
have.
is this cheap politics that we should stop? You see, I don't want to go into that area.
Okay.
But you see,
Somebody said it was expensive.
Yeah, oh yes. Known to.
You go on. Ignore Larry and this. No, you ignore Larry. Yeah, only make your point.
But you see, there must me for the procurement issues. Let me leave it for Larry. Mm-hmm. The duty they were going to perform with that helicopter, that Galamsey issue was my concern. It was Galamsey related activity. Mm-hmm. They were going to launch some initiative just to sanitize this whole space or whatever. We were told that, after the incident, the president will go brute on this Galamsey. What has happened to this Galamsey matter? They lost their lives because of this Galamsey thing. So what has happened? The president said he won't declare state of emergency. We are not saying shut down this country. Targeted state of emergency in what? Areas affected by this menace. And he said you won't do it.
He said he's not been so advised. You wait until the advice comes in from the people who understand the security situation.
Why? Do you need to be a national security coordinator to know what is happening? Even NIMOS, what happened? Oh no, why? They are leader, Kenebua or whatever. I said, it's but for God. So what report do you need? Those of us working every day, the intelligence that we have can help this country. And sometimes we share. They won't take your intelligence, because you become powerful. I remember we were sharing intelligence with somebody. You go and present it. One day you call me and say, I have nothing for you. You understand what I'm saying? The president, you are the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. You sit in security meetings. What else do you need? What we are saying is that declare targeted state of emergency, Galamsey affected areas. That is all that we need.
Is it as easy as just declaring it? You have to police it. You have to enforce it. And some also fear that if you let the soldiers go out there with guns doing their own things, sometimes when ideas get into their heads, it becomes a problem.
Novi, these guys are very professional. Sometimes, for them, very disciplined. When they give you instruction, you don't go beyond that. You understand? And so you need to train these people, give them some refresher course, let them move in. We are not sending you to go and kill people. Make sure that we reclaim our lands. That is all that we are doing. But the situation has become worse, and we all sit in this country as if nothing is happening. We are glorifying all these things, and you think that I should be happy. I'm sad because these gallant men have died in the line of duty. We were told that the president, from now onwards, he will take Galamsey very serious. What is happening? What is happening?
You're not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing anything. Are you seeing something? It's not me. Are you seeing something?
But we see the burning of low beds and.
Would that solve the problem?
We see blue water guards.
What guard? Even NIMOS, they are running for their lives. The forest guards. What is happening? So you see, we need leadership. We need leadership, decisive one. Take decision so that we will support you. Yes, today we are hearing all narratives from the opposition because they are buying Galamsey gold and blah blah blah. Whether Galamsey gold or not, what we are saying is that let's end this thing. Let's nip this in the bud. Because you see, the research is there that if we are not careful, what will happen to this country will be more than this gold thing that we are talking about. After all, gold, no cry, in fast one way. What are we? Because we don't even add value to our gold. So what is it? So Sky, I am so concerned and sad anytime this issue of this helicopter crash thing comes to play, because of what the activity, the duty they were
going to
perform. That is the galamsey.
Let me bring Elvis into
Sky,
the discussion.
Yes. There's something that occurs to me every now and then. Why don't we be prosecuting these guys on even illegal possession of arms?
Which guys? The
galamsey operating.
Well, so ideally,
you get it.
Yeah. So if the AG they cause the arrest,
so
because all those charges will flow.
I mean, deal with him. I mean, it's a low hanging fruit. You get it.
Yeah, but
deal
if
with
he's
him on that
connected,
one.
I mean, if he's connected,
It's connected. Even you don't even have to connect.
No, I'm saying if the person is connected
we have been
to
told
those
that
in authority, or he's a part of the financing team, and all
the
of
financiers
that,
are the political
exactly. So
actors.
it becomes difficult to prosecute.
Okay.
So
that's the difficulty.
Oh yes, I mean, majority of the times you see that. That's why you hear in the news that some MP has called somebody, and then the people
the attack on Naimos, how
engineered by somebody. So
was accused. Of
and then the police chief even within that locality
ran away.
He's also even involved in the galamsey.
Let me bring in Elvis. 8 souls died. They were going to deal with galamsey in one way or the other. You may disagree with what exactly they were going to do in terms of this community mining business, but it was an effort to deal with the problem. Somehow, it would seem that we have not decisively resolved galamsey.
We are not ready to deal with galamsey. But before I come, I want to focus on the armed forces and this particular helicopters. When the crash happened, so then I asked myself, what do we look for before we bought the helicopters? So I started to check the safety records of the helicopter in countries around the world that are using it. And Sky, it doesn't really look good. If you look at these helicopters, Cambodia uses some. They had 2 crashes, one in July 2024 and another in July 2014. Cambodia. You go to Namibia, April 2014, it crashed. You go to Cameroon, May 2019, crashed. Mali, January 2023, crash. China is where it is produced, August 2015, there was a crash. Zambia, December 2012, there was a crash. Gabon, 2011, there was a crash. So,
all Z9.
All Z9. So I look around and say, almost every country that seems to be using the Z9 has experienced one accident or the other. So even before the investigations were done, I had my doubts about the safety features on that particular helicopter. So I was not surprised at all when the report was published and the report was clear that the helicopter lacked a lot of safety features that could have prevented that accident if it had those things. And I asked myself, so Ghana Armed Forces...
This would have been added on. Not that added on features. Yeah,
extra specs.
It's not extra specs.
That thing is
a safe helicopter should, according to the report, if it had these features, the missing features were there, maybe this would have happened.
For that particular
additional, those
they are not additional. There are other helicopters that have those. Why did we choose to buy the ones that don't have it? This is the question. There are other helicopters that have those features. Why did we choose as a country to go and buy those helicopters that do not have those features? So in actual fact, we contributed to the death of the people. Because we bought something that we know clearly that lacks A, B, C, D safety features. And in aviation, you know that the number one concern is safety. So if our Ghana Armed Forces is going to buy something that we as a country want to use and it's related to aviation, the number one concern should be what are the safety features of what we are going to buy. If we don't have to wait till 8 people are dead and we now go and investigate, and it is now out of investigation that we are being told that the helicopter lacks so many safety features. So the people who went to inspect,
some addition.
No, those who went to inspect, those who decided that we will buy it, were they not aware that the helicopter lack those safety features.
You know, Elvis,
If
this is your characterization.
they take the decision that we should buy that as against other helicopters that had such features.
You see, your characterization is a problem for
It's not a problem.
because you see, you can go and buy a Mercedes Benz.
Yes.
And decide that you want cameras, you know, some other
Additional
enhanced-
No.
additional
That is
features.
not what the report said.
That's
The
what
report,
Elvis, that's what it
That's
is.
what
That's what it is.
Elvis,
are
that's
you
what it is.
telling me that
Additional
the report is saying that those things are not part of any other helicopter?
No,
not part of that
that's
helicopter.
not what I'm even
That is what I'm
suggesting
telling
with-
you, that
with
there
the
are
detail.
options. There are other options of helicopters that have such safety features. Why did we not go in for those?
So we
ones?
shouldn't have
That
bought
is
a Z9.
That is my point.
Okay.
And that's my point. That if there are other helicopters that have such safety features, why did we choose to buy the Z9 as against those that have such safety features? That is why I'll give you the record of the safety features in terms of crashes around the countries that are using it.
Yeah.
And I've given you more than 8 countries where this same helicopter had crashed.
You
And
also
I'm
spoke
saying
about the
that-
choice. You know, there's also a saying in our language that "Kuinela mashebe don't puna."
No, you see,
The stick that you have,
Is it-
you need to take that into consideration when you are chasing a stick.
and so that is where the problem is. If we have money to buy 4, if the money for the 4 can buy one of the one that had that safety features, I would prefer that we buy the one that has all the safety features rather than to go and buy 4 of helicopters that we are very much aware that lack so many safety features, and therefore with a little problem with weather, the pilot will have problem. So if we are buying 4 at a go, why are we saying that if we put the money of the 4 together, we can't buy one that had all the safety features?
Would you rather do it one?
I will do it one because that will give me more safety than buying 4 that lack
With
safety
all the
features.
problems we have,
Uh,
places we need to be, moving troops around to get things
But the
done.
safety,
You think we
of
should have only
the
one?
safety of the people who are going to be must be paramount. If you are prioritizing cost over safety, then you have a problem.
Sky.
As human beings,
Wait for me.
because human life is not replaceable.
I agree with
You can't replace human life. So if you are dealing with human life, you must think about safety over cost. That is very important. We always talk about cost and cost as if human life is nothing. But the helicopter that is gone, we have now approved money in parliament. We are going to buy new presidential plane and buy some other helicopters for the armed forces, right?
Yeah.
Because we are replacing them. The people who are dead, how are we going to replace them? The 8 people who are dead, how are we going to replace them? We can never replace a human being. So when you are buying something, especially for Ghana Armed Forces, that is supposed to protect our territories as a country. So you go and buy something that has this, assuming, without admitting or without accepting, God forbid, that we're at war with another country. And then we have these helicopters, and they have more superior ones. How do we win the war against that country? So you see, when we are dealing with certain institutions, this idea of cost should not be a priority.
But you need to know how much you have.
So that's what I'm saying.
and
If
what
we
you
can buy 4,
you should buy
if
one.
we can buy 4, and if I put the money of the 4 together, I can buy one that is more superior and it's more safer. I would prefer we buy one that is superior and safer to buying 4 that we know that have limitations.
Beautiful.
And I'm saying that that's a problem. So the report itself tried to create this impression that the helicopter was fit to fly.
Yes.
I disagree with that. Because if you, the same report is telling me that the helicopters lack a lot of safety features, how is it then fit to fly?
Yes.
How is it then fit to fly? So you see, let's not make it look like, oh, we want to absorb people from blame, so we want to say that it was fit to fly. And you're the same report you are telling me that the thing lacked ABCD, and that accident, if they had ABC, possibility that they could have better visibility would have been higher. And so why don't you believe that the conclusion that the helicopter was fit to fly is something I should believe? I don't believe it. And I also want to say, the report has also not said that the remaining helicopters, that same helicopter, no, but nothing has been said about whether we should continue to use them or not. Because we bought 4. Where is the remaining 3? The report didn't say anything. The report didn't make any recommendation that if we are to use the remaining 3, we should add the safety features that are missing before we should use it again. The report was silent on the rest of the helicopters. So I asked myself, so are we going to be using the rest without the safety features? Because I expected the report to tell me that with this
Maybe
incident,
that's in the detailed report. We
but
received
why wouldn't they
slide.
tell us? Why wouldn't they tell us? Should there be another accident before they go and do another report? I don't even know. See, sometimes we are. You see, that's what I'm saying. I see, this country, we do things half-baked, and we think that we want to make progress like countries that are serious.
Yeah.
If you decide to do a report and want to put it in the public, then let us know that, we bought 4.
Yeah.
This is what we have identified in this room. We think that the remaining ones, if the Ghana Armed Forces should decide that they want to continue to use it, then you are recommending that immediately these safety features should be added before it is used.
Okay.
Who advised them to ask for 3 months extension for when the helicopter was due for servicing? Who made that recommendation that we should ask for 3 months extension? And that has nobody is asking. Why did we even ask for a 3 months extension? Now people are dead. 8 people are dead, and somebody recommended that we should have a 3 month extension. That thing was due for servicing. Then somebody said they should give a 3 months extension based on what? The report has not explained. But you told us that they said they needed 3 months extension was granted. On what basis were those extensions granted? There are a lot of questions to be asked in that report.
Exactly. Let me go to Umar Sanda now. Your comments on this particular situation. What must change quickly?
I think the reports, I read the report from back to back, and I'm looking for someone
As
to
in the
blame.
slides.
Yeah. And I was looking for someone to blame. Nobody was blamed. Nothing was blamed. And that's why I realized that Elvis is struggling to pin this on safety features. But those safety features were actually additional specs that you could buy and fit into a chopper. They were not supposed to be part of the chopper. And mind you, this chopper or these helicopters, they produce them globally, and people buy them, and I'm sure there are some aviation standards.
You provided a context, the history of the helicopter itself in other countries.
Yeah, but I'm saying that
which is not to say that it is bad.
I'm saying that there are aviation standards that these helicopters would have met before they were even allowed to, and we've been flying them. And for him to say that we should just use every money and buy those things and just keep one chopper, I mean, I'm not sure that would work, because see, as of a few years ago, the information I had was that we had only 6 helicopters in this country. 2 of them were sitting in the west, protecting our oil permanently. That's where they are.
That's 2 of the Z9.
I'm saying 2 out of 6. Then 2 were in the north for security reasons.
Yeah.
So we had only 2 down here for operational purposes, like the one that we saw moving up and down. So we are very, very understaffed. Like the analogy I made in Agbogloshi. No, the place that got bent is what? Kantamanto. It was an opportunity for us to build it properly. I think this accident, even though we do not want it to happen, we do not wish it to have happened, it has happened, and it's something we should learn from. And I'm happy to see that Parliament has been told that they should propose or approve for some further equipment to be bought. Look, a few weeks ago, there was this whole joke around that America was coming to invade Nigeria. Nigerians started joking and sharing photos of their equipment. Looks very horrible, the fleet, the air force that they have. If Togo were to invade us, I'm not sure they also have, but I'm not sure we can fight anybody. We don't have anything. We don't have shit. So, if this is an opportunity for us,
don't underrate your military.
Okay, you are.
The personnel. He's talking about the personnel.
Talking about the equipment.
The equipment.
I'm saying that this is an opportunity for us.
Sometimes you're encouraged not to say that.
No, when we say it, they will retool them.
Yeah. Yes. This is an opportunity for us to buy some more. And I'm happy that the process is in Parliament, but I think we should even get more. We should get for the Navy, and we should get for the Air Force, and we should equip it properly. As to whether we should have those extra things that Elvis wants us to have, I don't know, that's another matter. But for now, it is the amount of money we have that will determine what type of thing we buy. They say that Dede Alwala, Dede Rua, the amount of water is what you use to perform ablution. So what we have in our coffers is what we use to buy the fleet. And we may not buy the top notch like the one the Americans flew from their place to go and do the bombing in Iran and went back. We may not have that capacity. But at least we should also buy something that you can use to sketch over.
Those are not choppers.
Yeah. I know.
97.3 Citi FM is the station. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. We are doing an audit of the year 2025. We've dealt with matters concerning tragedy and related matters, and we are moving to something else. In the meantime, 05399869996, 05399869996. My name is Richard Sky. I'm here with Andy Kankambwedu of the Informer newspaper, Elvis Dako of the News Center, Umaru Sanda Amadu, and an in-house host and journalist here, one of the key people running both ChannelOne television and then Citi FM, and my good friend and brother Larry Alansdogbe of the Herald newspaper. We move on to deal with matters having to do with power fights and the institutional civil troubles that we've seen.
We didn't talk about the rule.
Which one?
The rule one, the road accident.
The road accident.
Yes.
You want to say something?
That's
about
his-
it?
Of course,
That's his
very
alien.
important. That's very
Only
important.
Let us talk about it.
That's his
Okay,
alien.
you have 1 minute to deal
Talk
with
about it.
Okay.
Don't take 5
The
minutes.
Obogu accident is just a microcosm of what the country is going through in terms of road accidents. January to November this year, 2,673 people are dead in road accidents. That is just the reported ones. Out of these 2,670, 1,239 were killed by Okada, which has limited number of passengers on board. It kills more than commercial
Now
vehicles.
legalized.
It kills more than private vehicles. I'm told on authority that the Road Safety Authority Board has not been inaugurated. So the whole of this year, they are in serious financial crisis. So a lot of things they could have done, they couldn't do. And that is why the number is going to be like the highest maybe in the past 10 or 15 years in terms of the numbers of road accidents. I think the president has to immediately make sure that the NRSA has its board because we cannot be losing human beings. These are people's fathers, mothers, children. So these are family people. They are not just numbers. They are human beings. It's the when we talk about disability numbers in Ghana, when we see the stats in census, we are scared. Say, how is that this number of Ghanaians are said to be persons with disability? Majority are happening not because they were born with disability. Majority as a result of road accidents. As we speak, we have over 15,000 people that have been injured in road accidents only this year. If half of that are the serious one, it means that most of all of those people are now persons with disability. Healthy people like us, and as a result of road accidents, they've got persons with disability. And if we care, and if we really are minded by the number of persons who we say persons with disability in our census report, and the number is increasing, we want to do something about what we need to do road accident.
Exactly.
And that is why we need to pay attention to our rules. We need to pay attention to enforcement. We need to make sure that the right things are done. We should bring in a lot of technology into managing road traffic issues. If not, we'll have a problem. And building roads and roads and roads, I want to tell the president that the expressway they want to build to Kumasi, they should convert into rail because the road already exists. Let's fix the remaining part of it and dualize it.
Okay.
The best transport form that we need for Accra to Kumasi, which can decongest Accra, is that if you have a high-speed train from Accra to Kumasi, people can stay in Kumasi, come and work in Accra and go back.
That's right.
People can be in Accra and go and work in Kumasi and come every day.
Okay.
That is what we need. So if we have money to build an expressway from Accra to Kumasi, I think we should rather think about starting a rail line from Accra to Kumasi for passenger transport and put some bullet trains on it. That is where the Malaysian, the Singapores, the Seychelles tigers that we admire, that's where they are going. We are still thinking about the past. We should also think about the future.
Exactly. 97.3 Citi FM is the station. This is the City Breakfast Show. We are auditing the year 2025. Your comments welcome 053-9986-996. Let's go to something else. President John Dramani Mahama assumed office. Say it again. Assumed office on the 7th of January 2025. A lot of expectations. He's enjoyed up to a year or so because on the 7th of January he would have been a year in office, serving his second term as president of the Republic after an intervening administration led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We are doing an assessment, the battles we're seeing with institutions of state, attempts to remove officers of state. The Chief Justice has already been removed. The Special Prosecutor is a new target. We're seeing efforts to take the Electoral Commission chair down, and then a number of other matters coming up. Let me start this time around with. Okay, let me take off with Umar Sanda. When President John Mahama took office, you must have had some expectations as to what exactly his administration was bringing. About a year down the line, are you happy with what you've seen? Putting into context the battles we're seeing with other institutions of state.
I am not disappointed. That's what I should say.
Okay.
And a year is too early to judge in 4 years. But I'm saying that if the trajectory at which the government is moving remains, if the status quo as we have it now remains, I'm okay. In fact, I was jokingly telling somebody that President Mahama is the last hope for me. And that we had so much hope in Akufo-Addo Showboy, having campaigned to be president for 20 years, winning the election. We thought finally Ghana was going to get that thing in 2017. He left with a very disappointing, left on a disappointing note for me personally. And when President Mahama was elected, I said after his election, he has been given a dictatorial power through democracy. He has a huge majority in parliament. Today, President Mahama, the only thing he cannot do is to change a man to a woman. And I mean the government, based on the powers they have in parliament, the constitutional authority, and the overwhelming majority that he got at the votes personally. I expect a lot. He has governed this country for 1 year with 50 or 48 ministers, depending on how you look at it. Things seem to be moving. We are seeing a stability at the pump. When I go to buy fuel, for the past how many months, I know that when I'm going to buy, this is how much I fill my tank for. It is stable. In the past, there's this mall I used to buy stuff for, provisions from. When I go, they stop printing that thing and put it on the the price tag. And when I ask them why, they said because the thing is fluctuating, so they can't. So they have to now. When I come, they'll check in the computer and tell me, but they can't keep printing and pasting and removing. There's some predictability that we have had so far. I don't know how much of the government's own interventions led to this, whether it was the Holy Spirit that is helping us, or it is indeed the government that is working. And they say to us that they are the ones who are working. And for me, let's give them the plaudits. 1 year is too short, because see, President Akufo-Addo, when he started very well. We are applauding him. And usually, when you are clapping for a driver and you are not careful, the driver may just run into. I don't want us to clap. I want us to just say, please continue, because you have nothing to lose. You have no election in 2028, and you have said to us that you will not run for that election.
You haven't seen the campaign that he should go again.
He said he will not do it. He himself opened his mouth and told us.
But some of his, appointees are campaigning for him to go again.
I know, I have seen and heard. But I'm saying that he himself has told us until the day. In fact, I interviewed his chief spokesperson, Felix Kwachu, 3 weeks ago, and he reiterated the point that the president is not going to run. So let's stand with that.
Yes.
I don't even think he needs to even worry himself. He has experience. He has been minister, deputy. He has been minister. He has been vice president. He has been president. He has been opposition leader for 8 years. He has seen everything that Ghana needs. And if after 8 years in the wilderness he returns and he fails this country, look, Martin Amidu told me something when President Akufo-Addo was elected. And this was even before he was appointed. He said to me that if Akufo-Addo fails, there will be no point continuing with this democracy that we have really started. And mind you, Martin Amidu is one of the people who started this democracy for us. The Constituent Assembly, the 92 Constitution, all of that. 8 years on, President Akufo-Addo hasn't delivered what we were expecting. It's been a disappointment. He may have started well, but he did not end well. I have decided to say that Mahama is our last hope, because you see, everything is working for him. If President Mahama fails us in 4 years' time, if you read the book Animal Farm by George Orwell, towards the end, the last paragraph, the animals that were watching, the pigs became the leaders of the animals in the farm after having overthrown the men, human beings. So they said they are going to rule themselves. At the end, the humans that were once ruling them and the animals that are now ruling them, being the pigs, there was no difference. The pigs were now walking on 2 legs, wearing hats and drinking beer. So the animals, the commoners, were looking at them and they were not sure whether the animals were better or the humans were better. I don't want us to get to 2028 for Ghanaians to say, hey, if we get to that state, considering how destabilized our sub-region is becoming, it becomes a problem for our democracy. He should leave a very good legacy. And he has got a track record, President Mahama, of leaving legacies for us. He has left infrastructure projects. Now he says he's going to build a road from Accra to Kumasi, brand new road. Nobody has sent him. He now went to decide he's going to do it. I thought we didn't need to do that. I thought, I traveled from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro in Cote d'Ivoire. I have seen a dual carriageway of the same distance of Accra to Kumasi. I think we already have the infrastructure. Let's fix it. But they said they are going to build brand new road. No problem. Leave a legacy of a good democracy, so that in 2028, when Ghanaians go to the polls, there should be no doubt in their minds that the political class is nothing but a group of people who come to steal and who are no different at all, and that they are cousins from the same mother. I want us to end this term that way. And for me, it has started well. He's on course. Look, he suspended someone for simply having a military bodyguard, the head of the cybersecurity. The man was sent on suspension for 2 weeks because photos emerged of him at an event and he had a bodyguard behind him who was a soldier.
Yeah, but people then contrast that with the fact that the son was recently seen with military bodyguards at some public function.
I don't know if you can suspend the son because he's not a public officer.
Well, I'll come to matters of suspension and some other matters. But let me bring on Larry. Yes, your assessment of the president's performance that far. In making that assessment, do you think he has the men and women to deliver? Are the people he's assembled to actually get the job done doing that? Which are the bright spots for you and which are the weak spots?
Thank you. I think Umaru, has said a lot already. But what I could say is just that so far so good. Looking at where we are coming from. Okay.
After 8 years.
Yes, after 8 years, with Akufo-Addo as the, how do you call that? The
Supreme leader.
No, the specimen. The specimen. Or a case study. Supreme leader. If you like. I recall some of the headlines we used to run back in the day that, hey, this was a monarchy. As in with Akufo-Addo one. You have the president then at the top behaving like a king. His family members here, the other cousin there, so and so there, so. Everybody was involved in one thing or the other, including state procurement. Okay, the corruption permeated every facets of the Ghanaian society. The president's friends were involved. You talk about this
alleged corruption.
Oh,
alleged corruption.
Novi,
alleged corruption.
Which alleged corruption again?
None has been proven.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Your lawyer is guiding you.
Yeah, the lawyer. Thank you. So, to a point where we even have this big hole in the middle of Accra, breeding mosquitoes, okay, and spreading malaria. I'm talking about the National Cathedral.
Has there been any trace to that yet?
No, it's there. I don't know why you want us to run away.
I
don't know. The man even made a promise to God. He made a promise.
Malaria came from there. The whole nearby.
All we need to do is to do a research, in that area as to how
the number of people who are.
Yeah,
Larry, go on.
Visited the Accra regional hospital. Do you get it? Now, on a more serious note, I think that the space is freer. We can government, appointees are talking to us and not talking down on us. You get it? Okay. People demand, an explanation into one thing or the other, and then they get it. I would have preferred a situation where, this government accountability series is not held inside the presidency, but rather outside it, where all manner of journalists are allowed to attend to query one minister or the other about a certain performance. When you take this thing to the presidency, it's just the presidential reporters who are talking, or who are asking you the questions. Outside that, it's a bigger pool of journalists who can also ask the minister one thing or the other about, his performance in a particular sector. Sometimes you could have situations where journalists could even be afraid to ask the right questions because they don't know whether the next moment they will say that, listen, you are not fit for the presidency. This is not the question you should be asking here. So for me that is. So accountability wise, government interaction has been very smooth. Felix is doing, quite well in that space. The president himself, I think he subjected himself to some level of questioning. Yeah, exactly, one way or the other. And if you know him, he tries to get, his mind on almost every other thing. So, one moment he's talking to you and explaining one, policy to you or the other. So it's been good.
That's
so far. The economy wise, I think that one has also been quite effective, really. Where in terms of inflation, I mean, we recall in Akufo-Addo era, almost every now and then you go to the nearby shop, and then prices have changed. So it got to a point where shops were no longer putting price tags. You went in the morning to buy coffee.
I think so.
Yeah, the next moment you go there, the prices
Figures are
change.
changing.
Was it that bad?
Oh, it was that bad.
Just when you went.
No,
to
you were
coffee.
not here. You were not here, so we can understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those of us who lived there, we knew what we knew
Yeah,
what
very good, give us-
we knew what it was. In terms of corruption, I think so far we haven't had any massive scandal as far as corruption is concerned. I hear that the president has warned that he will never blink an eye
to deal with people.
yeah, to deal with any of his appointees who fall foul of the of his expectations. So I recall, you remember the catch for seats. By this time it had happened. And then the
vetting,
the alleged bribery that came, that had to be investigated. We had experienced this in 2017 already. I mean, there were recommendations that people should be sacked. I mean, nobody was sacked at the time.
There was issue of plagiarized speech and things.
Well, I've forgotten.
Anyway, so
No, the man just stood there. You don't want to let me finish.
yeah, maybe so that we can make
Yeah. In terms of what you call it, resetting. The resetting. I don't know whether I include. We should talk about the sacking of
the chief justice.
the chief
We'll
justice.
come back to that. We'll come back to that.
We'll
We
come
just-
back. But then more on the economy. This 24-hour economy. It appears this thing.
We know they see that.
The momentum is dying down, and it's going down further. And I think that something has
to happen.
Yeah, has to happen, because we had come from a campaign period where the MPP was out there saying that, hey, I mean, this thing has to be explained by the president himself, as in candidate Mahama then, that what does the 24-hour economy entail? And we saw the NDC fumble on that. This one will say this one in the morning, another person will say something in the afternoon, then in the evening something else. So we didn't get clarity as far as that was concerned. I think that we are at that stage where we need to be told what it is. Okay, and that I hear in the Volta region, the Volta regional minister went inspecting some huge plots of land under the 24-hour economy. How does land acquisition, feed into the 24
Maybe
hour?
you establish a factory that will have
DVL is doing that. At least the Adenta branch. I saw that.
Okay. And then I think Eduji's institution, MPA said they wanted to also
fuel
do.
stations.
But then there was this issue about security.
That is contingent
That
security.
that is
if we
that
can provide.
most of the filling stations.
Let's do 24-hour construction only. Should be 24 hours. So that
for me that
free the
is
space for
road construction 24 hours. That would have been.
Let me
Okay,
bring
quick one. President Mohammed's second coming should be that of reforms and a little bit action. Like Umaru said, having gone through the mail, MP, Deputy Minister, Minister, Vice President, President, yes. What I would say is that he should take his reports very seriously, especially those coming from sectors like the health, education, the economy, and the security. Should take them very seriously.
Are there things we don't know?
Oh yeah, there are more things that even those of us outside, what we pick up, and if they are not giving him the correct briefing, he has to get some counterintelligence.
Sometimes you could be having it, but if access is blocked,
some counterintelligence,
it's another matter.
Right? To get those information handy and work with it, and also, like the General Secretary of the party said that he is prepared to fire whoever crosses the red line in terms of corruption. NDC campaigned heavily on the back of this corruption issue. Like Larry even made mention of that.
He says allegedly.
Oh, allegedly, yes, and some of them are
Lawyer one
are facing trial, and Omaru even made another nice diagnosis of it, that you see these politicians, they are cousins from
The same grandmother.
and so, but this whole governance architecture, corruption, scratch my back, let me scratch your back. If they are not careful, this, you see, this citizenry, what happened in Nepal and the rest, where people become so dissatisfied with the system, thinking that politicians will always have their way. When they want the votes, they will come. They will tell us all the stories just to hoodwink us and get power. And when they get there, they will do whatever they like. They should be very careful, like what we are witnessing in the sub-region. And also this constitutional coup that we continue to witness. And that is why that ugly noise that people said President Mahama should have a third term, that constitutional coup, they shouldn't go there. Why? There is no ambiguity.
I have seen people
Is there any ambiguity?
JM.
You are a lawyer.
I've seen people printing JM 2028.
Forget about that. Oh, listen,
I'm sure you've seen it too.
Listen. That constitutional coup will not happen here. Now it's not through the barrel of the gun. This constitution, they will manipulate some institutions.
Go to court, do this, do that.
You are a lawyer. Is there any ambiguity in that clause?
I don't see one.
So we shouldn't start.
No, he's not a Supreme Court. He cannot interpret the
No, you asked me. I'm not saying
I'm just asking you.
There will be a gray area. There will be a gray area.
There's none in my view.
How
I've
we take
written
the
about
president for his words. He said, I'm not going to seek a third term.
But if they
He
force
said
him,
it.
if they force him,
Nobody will force him. He won't
Normally
do
they force them.
if the people
People are calling
it. And you think
Just
Ghana,
to listen to the
that will
pulse of
happen?
it.
Well, the economy, yes,
Yeah.
they've been able to manage the economy in terms of the CD, whatever. And Larry was talking about inflation. But inflation, yes, we are recording the single-digit inflation. But the pocket is no good.
No, because you're a journalist.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's because
Your reward is in
Amanda
heaven.
told you.
Your reward is in heaven.
What Amanda told you.
Yeah.
So, yes,
So the paper is looking good, but you
his
don't feel
paper
it.
is, but you don't feel. Bronya, Gamel Yori. I'm almost
Bronya is dry.
I'm a
It's
mother
dry.
of a
Koko for Kokolo. Abi ama for the
I'm all flexible. How was your cattle market?
The year in review, the autopsy on 2025. I have in studio Larry Dogbe of the Herald newspaper, Andy Kankamboedu of the Informer, Umaru Sanda Amadu right here in-house, host of Eyewitness News and Face to Face, and Elvis Dako of the News Center. We are looking at the year 2025 in retrospect. We will do this until 11 a.m. So please stay with us. We now go to the big matter of the dismissals we saw when the new government came into office. In excess of 2,000 or so people directly removed. The Chief Justice of the Republic fired. Now moves are being made against the Electoral Commission chair and her deputies, as well as the OSP. Let me take off with Elvis Dako on this particular point. Elvis, the new government came to power. The president promised, I'll be fatherful, we'll help build this country together. And one of the first few things we saw was the removal of people who were thought to have been improperly recruited into the various offices of the state. Well, in excess of 2,000 or several thousands of people were fired because the claim, according to the chief of staff, was that they were not properly taken on board. The minority sought to do something about it. As we speak, that matter hasn't made any real progress. Actions were filed in the court. We don't know what progress has been done with that. And then also the Chief Justice taking down, first suspension, removal. Now we are seeing efforts to take out the EC chair and her deputies, and the OSP is also under fire. Your comments?
Thank you for the opportunity. I think that the decision to sack workers actually demonstrates that the promise of one job, 3 employees was just a political promise. Yeah, that was what it demonstrates.
The 24-hour economy thing.
The one job, 3 people doing it, which was a major
shifts.
campaign promise of the NDC. Was just a campaign promise.
That was too early.
Because if people are occupying the position 111, and you are coming to add 2 more people each, what then would be the reason for sacking people?
It was too early. They had not set up 20.
Do you understand it? So clearly, that was the demonstration that promise was just a promise for election's sake. It was not going to be possible. It was not going to be possible.
Doubting Thomas.
Because if it was going to be possible, there was no need to sack anybody. They are Ghanaians. Even if you have the suspicion that they may be supporters of the previous government, that's where they were employed, they are still Ghanaians.
Isn't
But if they were
procedure is everything.
There has not been nobody has been able to provide any clear reasons in any of the instances that this is why it is clearly
They said there was no financial clearance. They ought not have been engaged. And that the processes for engaging them, they didn't go
people
through
who
the
are some
process.
people were employed 2 years ahead of time or even on salary were sacked. I have seen letters from Exim Bank and other places where people were asked to go home. I have seen letters where they were not like just new employees, as they say. They sacked so many people that were not even new employees. People who were head of institutions are now being brought, that people have been brought to be their heads.
You remember Osafo Manfo?
Do you understand it?
You remember Osafo Manfo?
Yes, I
In
do.
2017?
Yeah, and that's what. So when it is bad, it is bad.
Continue. It's bad.
When it is bad, it's bad. Especially for a part of that campaign that one job, 3 people will do it. So everybody will be employed. This was a huge campaign promise. So there was no need to start. And that is one of the bad notes on which President Mama started his government. He had positives, but that one was a very bad decision. And I believe that we should build a country and understand that democracy is about choices. So the person may belong to your opponent. If the person is doing his or her job, let the person work. He's working for the Ghana, not for your government. You may be the government today. The government can change, but that person will be there working for the people of Ghana. So that sacking, it was needless, and we must all condemn it. We must all make sure that no subsequent government comes to power and their focus is how to remove some Ghanaians and replace it with other Ghanaians who are their supporters. I don't think that we can build a country sustainably on this kind of practice. If you can't create the jobs, say I can't create the jobs. Look for options and solutions as to how to create jobs and employ those people. That is what we need to do. The unemployment situation is not solved when you remove some people who are already working and replace them. That's not how you solve unemployment. The unemployment situation is solved when you are adding more people onto those who are already there. And that is the promise the NDC made, that one job, 3 people will do it. 1 year is ended. We are yet to see one job, 3 people doing it. We are yet to see the one job, 3 people doing it.
The new figures suggest that 1.3 million people, the youth particularly, may either not be in training, not at work, and something else. So the unemployment situation is particularly dire.
If at 1.3 million, if you look at the population, adult population that's supposed to work, it's about 10 to 12 million. There are about 7 or 8 million adult population that's supposed to work and not any meaningful employment. If you look at the data critically. So we have a serious unemployment situation that we should look for solutions. And if you promise one job for 3 people, you don't come sacking people. You come to add on. So that was one of the lowest notes that the Mahama second term started.
The Chief Justice.
The Chief Justice, my position is clear. Whatever reasons were stated by the committee's report, none of them merit the removal of the head of an arm of government.
Have you seen the report?
Then, what they brought to us, what they told us as the reasons.
Can you allow the man to make his submission? It will be your turn.
The reasons
why are you painting me?
At least the letter written to the CJ, the now former CJ, the letter written by Callistus Mahama, the grounds stated for removal, none of them, in my opinion, constitute reason for removal. So for me, I still stand by my position that it's just some people who don't want the woman to continue her term. They plan and decide to remove her. But the reasons cited are not relevant enough for the removal of an arm of government.
The head of an arm.
Yes. And I'm saying, so I asked somebody, the son of the president or his children are not government officials. If we saw the son of the current president with the president of the presidential state to an AU summit in in Ethiopia on state budget because the presidential jet is our own. Are we going to remove the president from office because the son traveled on our budget to an AU summit with the father?
Yeah, but maybe the son did not receive a per day.
Is that received? But flying there, no, but the flying going there, the hotels, who pays for it?
He probably would sleep with the father.
Who pays for it? It's the state money. So are we going to remove the president of Ghana because the son has benefited from presidential travels?
And he's stuck on the first should have
you get so
benefited from that.
We have to be able to not make one arm of government superior to the other. If the president's wife, children can travel with him on official trips, why is that if the Chief Justice's daughter or son or husband dates him is wrong? And it is not the Chief Justice doing it by himself. It is something that has been stated in their condition of service. So for me, I've clearly made up. I am clear in my mind that all the grounds stated per the committee's own report. That these are the grounds. And I said those grounds were stated in the letter that Callistus Mahama wrote to the Chief Justice as reasons for her removal. I think that they are all petty. The NDC and the government have made up their mind to remove her, and they came and they found ways to remove her. That is how I see it.
The Electoral Commission.
In terms of the Electoral Commission, I haven't seen the charges petition that they say they are leveling against them. But then, if they have done something wrong, but until I see the charges, I will not be able to tell. And I know people who say they want to compare with Charlotte Osei. I have always said that if you ask me, Charlotte Osei should not have been removed from office, even though she breached the procurement law. She actually saved the public money, because the contract she's accused of signing without going through the tender committee, it was lower than the one that the tender committee approved, which she cancelled. So she actually saved the public some money. The fact that she didn't go through the process should not be reason why she should have been removed. So I have said that it could have been a caution that next time you want to save the public money, just use the right process. So her removal, for me, I've always been against it. But I've always made the point that Charlotte Osei's removal was also not orchestrated by any politician, to be frank with you.
Who did it?
Charlotte Osei had a fight with her two deputies, even before NPP came to power. Yeah. And the records are there that she wrote to the then President John Mahama that she wanted the two deputies moved elsewhere because she thinks she can't work with them. The records are there that the then government, through the chief of staff, same Julius Zebade, tried to resolve the issue. They couldn't get a solution. And President Mahama at that time felt that he couldn't have removed any of them because they couldn't get an amicable before NPP came to power. There were internal battles among the three commissioners. And if you look at the report, if you look at the committee that recommended the report, who were the ones who were testifying against each other? It was the commissioners who were testifying against each other. It wasn't some politician who came from somewhere to come and testify against Charlotte Osei or Georgina Mankwa or the late Sule. They themselves were the ones who were making allegations against each other. So even if there was any politics somewhere through the petition, the whole thing started before somebody actually took advantage to file a petition. So when we are looking at it there, because Charlotte Osei was removed, somebody else, if the current people there have done anything that merits their removal, if I see it and I think that this merits a removal, I will support it.
OSP.
But I have not said anything. The ASP, those who are asking for a removal, I have said.
And collapsing the office and
no, yes, that's what I have personal. My view is simple. I think the OSP, we set it up for a purpose. If you look at about 7 to 8 years of operations, they have not really satisfied Ghanaians based on why we set them up. That's my opinion. If I look at the track record of the office as we speak,
they've saved us billions.
How did they save the money?
In investigations they've done,
from which and
they've
which
ordered
one?
Certain offices not to be shut down, like Toll, for instance. They intervened there. They did some work with is it Bianca? What
is it? See, when we are setting up an office, there is this really expectation of the public. I've said it that Akufo-Addo didn't wake up and set up OSP. OSP, he has promised that he will fight corruption, but it was civil societies who were on top of their voice, that they believe that because the AG is the chief advisor to government, legal advisor to government, he cannot really fight corruption. And they cited a lot of reasons why they think the AG is not doing, and they think that there should be another office. That is why the OSP was set up. The OSP set up, we also, Martin Amido's era, we have our own issues with Martin, but this particular leadership with Kisia Jabin. Even if you mention Kisia Jabin, they'll respond. They brought themselves into the media space as if it is confrontation with people. And I think that is what is leading for people to call for their removal. I have always said that they should focus on their work, get the job done, and make sure that results speak for themselves. They come in every now and then running battle in the media with press conferences. It's not what is the work the public expects from them. What the public expects from them is that by now we have 5 or 10 top public officials caught in a certain corruption, and they are in Sawam. They will be clapping for them. But when that is yet to be achieved, really you cannot expect them to. So for me, I'm not in support of scrapping the office. If we have issues with the person handling the office, I would think the person should go. If there's good grounds for the person to go, but for the office of the OSP, I can tell you that we'll be doing ourselves a lot of disservice if we scrap that office. We should look for the rightful person to handle it. I have my opinion. I have said, if anybody is to become the SP, the person must have between 15 to 20 years of prosecution at the court, and the person must have between 70 to 80% success rate in the criminal prosecution the person has done within the 15 to 20 years.
Then the person would have to be coming from the aegis department.
I think with that kind of track record, if the person has that kind of, and is leading the OSP, I think we'll get better results.
Okay.
Kisi may be very good law lecturer, but I don't think that putting somebody who is a law lecturer as head of OSP will give it the result. And that is why I'm asking that if we are going to have a next SP, let's look with somebody with practical track record that is been to the court for 10 to 15, 20 years, has 60 to 70% or 80% track success rate in all the prosecutions to be the SP.
Beautiful. Let me bring in Umar Sanda. Practically, you've dealt with these stories, on Eyewitness News in diverse ways. Yeah. Your own views reflecting on the year.
On OSP, I think we should not keep that office. And I'm speaking as someone, the first journalist to have entered the office of special prosecutor when it was a 2-bedroom house at Laboni. And I have seen the work that Matiamido at the time tried to do with his deputy. They were like 10 or 15 people. Then after a lot of lobbying, they got this building near Parliament House, 11-story building.
Oh, so Martin got that?
Yes, so Martin was the one who lobbied, and then they got that place. It was supposed to have been for GIPC, I think, and then they had some discussions, and then that building was given to them. In fact, they even intended that it should be shared with the GIPC, but he made the point that they are a security institution, they cannot be sharing the same space. So there was this whole plan he had with the place. But you see, the fact that we've set up the place 4 or 5 years, and people are not seeing the results is like your club, Chelsea. No matter what you invest in there, if there are no
it's like water into a basket.
If the results are not showing, people will not be happy. Look, Kisi Jabin, he would come, speak, do press conference, he would say things, but people are like, the results is what they want to see. You remember Mills's first term, one of the biggest problems his government at the time had was that Jerry Rawlings and some people thought that he was not jailing people. So far as you are not jailing people, you are not doing anything. Your office is supposed to fight corruption specifically. If after all these years, no one has gone to jail, it means that nobody in Ghana has been corrupt. That's
not what it means. What it means is that they have not successfully proved their case in a court of law.
Yes, and you see, Elvis thinks...
It is one thing suspecting someone has done something wrong. It's another thing proving that.
Yeah, so if you don't prove, it means they didn't
under the legal provisions that govern
it means they didn't do. It means nobody.
That is why we send them.
So if you've been set up, and listen, the OSP under Matiamido was not resourced, but the OSP under Kisi is very well resourced. They have the physical infrastructure and the financial, and we see the budget,
bulletproof cars,
including, according to Larry, bulletproof cars.
They will come and respond.
Now, if after all of this we are not seeing use, and this whole public spat with the Attorney General, I thought was needless about some docket, bring docket, I won't bring docket. The docket is hiding my. That was nyama.
I thought they downplayed that.
Oh, downplay what? Look, I'm saying that Article 88 is what was subdivided and given to be OSP. Let's remove it and bring it back to the Attorney General. Let's have a Minister for Justice appointed by the President, but have an Attorney General elected or somewhere. so that attorney general will do the work that the SP does and more. That's what I think.
The EC.
On the EC, Charlotte Osei was seen to be a darling girl of John Mahama. When Ghanaians went to the polls in 2016 and decided they didn't want Mahama, he was an incumbent president, he was younger than Akufo-Addo, he still lost, and there was nobody who could save him, not even the EC chairperson he appointed. When MPP came into power, I didn't think they should remove her, because clearly the Electoral Commission chair, and Afarijan tells us that all the time, that he's the less powerful person in the EC, because he's the last person to see the results, so he cannot do any manipulation. If Charlotte Osei could not save Mahama, who was a sitting president, there was no point removing her when they came. And I think it is the reason that these people are also being for blood. And I think the same story. I believe that Charlotte should not have been removed, Jean should not be removed. But they are working on it, and it is politics, and we know how these things work. We know how the petitions are prepared. We know how they are sent. There's not everything we can say in public. The same is applying to the Chief Justice. Someone decides that, no, you have to go for A, B, C, D reasons. But they argue that they follow the due process. The Constitution has not been breached. And to the extent that the Constitution has not been breached, what can you say? People will shout, people will fight. But at the end of the day, you see, governments are so powerful. And sometimes when you want to fight governments, the governments will fight you. And we are seeing that happening. I do not think that this government and President Mahama's government should bother itself on this counter-attack kind of thing. I think they should have focused on bigger things. I think fighting the head of, or removing the head of EC, or removing the head of the judiciary, unless there's evidence that the head of the judiciary is frustrating the government's work. If there is, then there could be attempts to remove her. But if there is no, on the face of it, we do not see a deliberate decision by the Chief Justice and the institution she heads to remove. Look, the woman Mahama was sworn in on January 7th. Every power went to him, and everybody would. I do not think that we had to worry ourselves so much, but that is what has happened. And we are hearing from MPP people that if they also come in the future, whoever is appointed as Chief Justice will be removed. And then the thing becomes cyclical. And it takes us back to the animal farm story I told you. So we look from animal to man, and we are wondering who is who.
The government workers who were sent home on the orders of a letter from the chief of staff, many are still home, jobless.
Yeah.
Some, I know them, they are now doing taxi driving. Others are doing Uber and Bolt and all of that. It seems that it's something that repeats itself. And when people talk about reset, the expectation some people had was that they were coming to change things for the better. Your own views on
you see, I have interviewed both sides. The people who were sacked, I've interviewed a number of them. I know one person who has at least been at office for many years, I think more than 10 years. That person clearly cannot be called a midnight appointee. So, in as much as I agree that they are Ghanaians, they deserve to be employed. They are just like you and I. And if they are employed, it shouldn't be a problem. What I want to question is, you've been in government for 8 years. You know that you have a foot soldier base that you want to satisfy. Why did you wait until last minute to make this appointment, knowing that it could lead into problems? Because this midnight appointments, we saw in 2016, some of them were done. The MPP at the time, through Yaosafo Mafo, condemned it. And they said they were not going to agree and recognize that. When this one started happening, I remember Phyllis Kwachi, at the time spokesperson on the transition team, saying that, no, we will not accept it. I think the chief of staff at the time even issued a statement, all of that. Why do you have to wait for 8 years to put your people in places? Why did you, over the period, for a government, the NPP manifesto of 2016 was titled An Agenda for Jobs. 8 years on, you didn't put the people at the place to go and do the thing.
But must they be NPP people that necessarily?
Oh, yeah, down there.
That is what we have.
That is normal. It's wash your back.
Normalized.
So you come in and you serve your people. And I'm saying that if you won't serve your people, if they are competent, give them jobs. But you would have done this all this while. Why do you wait until you are voted out? Because the moment you are voted out, everything you are doing, people are watching you with suspicion. And mind you, the place you are sending the worker to, there are other people there who choke. And once they choke, because when you come, it means that there will be too many people for the small pot of soup. And I think we should possibly have a law I don't know whether it's an act of parliament or whatever it's going to be, that says that once the elections of December 7 are over, even though the president is still commander-in-chief of the armed forces, is head of state until January 7, he's almost functus officials, and that there should be less work. I mean, you shouldn't do anything again. It's like you are done. If from January 7 to December 7, 4 years, you haven't done, this is not the time you are going to do anything. Between December 7 and January 7, just start writing, handing over notes. Don't do anything again. And I think that's how in the future it should be like. Unless maybe key major national security matters. But things like employment, no. This is the time you come to give an employment letter and even backdate it according to what the government is doing. It's claiming that some of the letters were backdated. That's even criminal. And Felix Kwachi, when I interviewed him, said due procedure was not followed. And so if due procedure was not followed, they will remove the people. So the beneficiaries there, they have not done anything wrong. I think they should carry their letters and go and fight the people who gave them the last minute appointment when they could have given them early appointments.
Elvis, but let me move to Andy.
Richard, so those midnight appointments, I don't support it. Like Omaru said, you have some full soldier base to satisfy. So why wait until January 6th, a day to exit office, then you start handing over appointment letters to your party full soldiers? I don't support it. That should be condemned. We shouldn't encourage it. But I maintain that those that were appointed 2 years back, but because we're tagged MPP and sacked under the clock that they were not procedurally engaged, I don't support it. Because you see, from what we are picking up, should MPP come to power tomorrow, the situation will be different. And that is where we don't want to get into that arena.
As in they will also fire people.
Yes, they'll fire people. Between myself and you, we don't need a soothsayer. People are so angry, they are livid that this is happening to them, and they'll pay back. There'll be that kind of retaliation. And because we want to build a progressive Ghana, a very united Ghana, I think we must be moving from that politics of equalization. You have done this to me. When I come to power, I must also do it. No, attempts to equalize will not help. Like Elvis said, when you promise job, when you come, you don't sack people and employ people. It's the same thing. So when you check the average, you check the number, it's the same number. You are not adding. It is better government begins to think outside the box, some ingenuity to employ more people. Like in the security service, when you pick somebody into the security service, you give the person training, and because you say, oh, I've come to power, they were not recruited properly, blah, blah, and you leave them to go, or you sack them. People who have been trained in weapon handling. Do you know the number of armed robbers you have left
to go
to the streets?
They could become security guards, watchmen.
Oh, I'll glorify one. So you see, we should just be careful. When we are dealing with this unemployment issue, we sack this person. But the midnight ones, I have problem with it.
Okay. Chief Justice.
Chief Justice, yes. I am always for institutions of state that when we build institutions, we don't need strong men. Everything will work. You don't need to go and pay somebody allegedly before you get something done. And I see the removal or the attack on the judiciary as having some economic implications. Because you can strengthen your cyber security just to assure people, investors, that, listen, the space is good, they will not be scammed and blah, blah, blah. But when the credibility, the independence of the judiciary is under attack, people too will not feel comfortable in terms when there are issues that they have to go to this same body for adjudication and whatever. So you see, as for the Chief Justice, because prior to the elections, some comments were made. Is what is gradually inching to where the Electoral Commission. That is why I think that the recommendation by the Constitutional Review Commission that, one, the mode of appointment, their security of office, all those things ought to be strengthened. And when we go by that, I think we'll make some headway. Kisi Ajabin, OSP. You know, President Mahama even said that there's this distrust for the Attorney General's office. So when Omar was saying that they should send prosecutions back to the AG office, for me, I was confused. Because the president said that because the Attorney General is one of our own. You think that Dominic Carini will have that temerity to prosecute Ato, forcing the finance minister?
Well, we saw a string of nolle prosequi filed.
Yes. So that is it. So that is why the CRC, H. Kwesi Prempeh's team is saying that we need anti-corruption and ethics commission to handle politically exposed persons that are alleged to have engaged in these corrupt practices. You see, Omaro was talking about the OSP not delivering. I think among other things, the OSP one is also to prevent corruption. Not only that you get people, you prosecute them, recovery, you discourage people even before, you discourage people getting involved into corrupt practices or whatever. And recovery is also one key aspect that they are doing. And they've recovered a lot. In fact, just last week, and I know that their final report in I think 2 weeks or in about a week time, it will be there. They've been able to recover about $2 million for meth. Yes.
Right. $2 million.
Yes.
Out of what?
Oh no, this is a fraction
They have
that I'm
recovered.
telling you.
That's recovered.
They will put the total figure out in the report.
When the reports are out.
In the end of year report. You know they come out quarterly with their report.
Their reports, yes.
I mean that is the mandate of the office. It's required of them to come out with a report. So you see, when you say that they should scrap the office and then they have benefited a lot in terms of allocations. You see, Elvis here knows your allocations can be approved that yes, budget, you have been allocated this, but the actual release, they have not been taking the actual release. Was that not the reason why Matiam got angry? That working with 9 skeletal staffs on secondment, he was not doing enough. He has no resources. He was not paid until he left office. The year from 2018, the years that he worked as OSP, he was not paid. So when Kisi took over and they saw that no, something was wrong and recommended that he be paid, he said he won't take it. You know, that is his Martin. But you see, the releases were not going. If you pick the Auditor General's report, it is there. It's approved in the budget that do this, give them this money. But the releases were not going. So if members of parliament who approve this budget and know very well that the Auditor General's report is captured that the releases were not going, yet will go on a private member's bill that this office should be dismantled, I don't get it. And for me, when the president came out that, listen, I am not going to support that. Let's support these institutions to work. Both the politicians, they are afraid of that the OSP office. That is because independent. Oh, they are afraid. MPP, NDC. You see, when you see MPP, NDC come together, meaning that there's something cooking. So when I had realized that MPP, NDC people come in, communicate, they should collapse it. We are not seeing anything. I say, oh, look at these people, they are afraid. You understand? But I, like the president said, I will urge the office to do more for Ghanaians to see that, listen, we set up an office, we expect that you deliver. The public banter, like we said, is needless.
Okay.
Let your work speaks for you.
Let me go to Larry.
Yes, our boss. Okay. Where do I start from?
You can take off from the Chief Justice's removal.
Okay. So,
or maybe you want to start with. Okay, let's go with OSP.
Where you studied, there is something called balance of power, which they are very, very critical on. Okay, that power should not be concentrated in the hands of one particular institution. I mean, some call it separation of powers. Now, with that in mind, presidents go for election if we are practicing the, let's say, the constitutional kind of, or the executive kind of arrangement. Presidents go for an election. It is just either it's a referendum on your performance. So if the people are satisfied with you, they vote for you, they retain you in office. Other times when they are not, they kick you out. And President Mahama went through that. He was kicked out. And then later on, his party brought him, and then he's been voted and brought back to office. Now, there are certain institutions that are guaranteed, a tenure of office. So you are there until the mandatory retirement age, then you go off. And the office of the Chief Justice is one. Okay. Now, having been given that kind of arrangement, specialized arrangement, you are supposed to act, okay, in the interest of everybody. Now, in between that, should there be any, should you go against whatever it is, there are mechanisms to either, check you. And that it's also by, what has been given by, which one? Is it Article 224? Help me.
What are you talking about?
The one that had
146.
Okay, sure.
The removal of the
removal of the chief, exactly. 146. And so, having been given all that, if it is not for anything that people like Daniel Ofori, okay, had to petition for the removal of the Chief Justice, because according to him, he felt that there were certain things that had gone wrong. And what is incompetence was also was one of them. Also raised issues about mismanagement, and then also another, that the conduct and then the comment of the Chief Justice then he had issues with. The same Daniel Ofori had issues in the court that we came to know, issues that had traveled, several years.
Yeah, but there are three substantive basis, issues that came up.
You are talking about removal. Allow me to.
Yeah. So let's talk about what was determined. They didn't find her to be incompetent. They said that she traveled with her husband and the child ought not have done that. So go home. That she transferred somebody in a way that was not ought not have happened, and therefore you should go home for that. And then finally, that you wrote to the President of the Republic recommending that certain people be appointed to the Supreme Court, and we find issues with that because, in our view, it undermined the Constitution.
Have you seen the report?
Oh, we read the.
Can I talk? But this had to do with Daniel Ofori. Yes, because the petition that
because you see, the committee made definite pronouncements as to what they found and what they did not find. The basis for the removal. These are the three main grounds for the removal that we saw. And I'm saying let's confine ourselves to that.
Yeah, that is what I've confined my. I mean, I have limited myself
to incompetence. There's nothing about.
I'm saying that incompetence also had issues in there.
It was raised, but there was no finding of incompetence made.
Do you know? As I sit here, I haven't seen the report by the Puaman Committee because I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, but there was a letter from the Callistus Mahama.
Can you pull that one out? Let's say.
Oh no, I can pull it out.
So you see, I mean, these are tools. The petition, they are tools in the hands of the ordinary Ghanaian who has issues with how that office is being run. That the officials there cannot go or are not putting themselves up for an election for us to make a pronouncement on their performance. However, there's a tool that we have, or a mechanism that we have, that if you are not going according to our expectation, we can evoke that particular thing and then get you off if that has to be done. Presidents have been voted in and out of office. I mean, an EC boss has been removed out of office. Okay? And now we have a Chief Justice who has been removed out of office. For me, I think that I don't have any issue with that.
You don't have any issue. Let's move to the
I don't.
the
Oh,
OSP.
would you allow me to finish? I don't have any issue with that because it sets as a very good example for others who occupy that same office, so that when they act according to how this lady, acted.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because you are talking about incompetence. Let's deal now with the OSP.
OSP. I mean, Kankam a while ago mentioned about how some $2 million has been retrieved. Let me tell you, Kankam.
That's a fraction. I said the full report will come.
Will be out.
I'm sure that you see.
Why you're disputing
I'm
his
saying
figure.
it
I'm
on
not
the basis
disputing
that
it.
they are also in there to
something?
recover.
Can I talk?
You understand?
Can I talk?
Okay.
I'm sure that $2 million is coming from Sledge.
I don't know.
Sledge.
Yes. Do you know why I'm saying that?
Yeah.
They called me.
Okay.
OSP called because we had done some story on the Sledge, and a Japa, myth, all these stories were Herald stories that we did. Then when the change happened, we got some other contacts in there. Then we had some story, and then we got information about how some $94 million was given to this particular Dr. Sledge. So the OSP called and said that they wanted us to assist them, with whatever I told them I wasn't coming. I wasn't coming because then the same institution had invited me over this Eka Energy matter, where journalists were being, money was being spread all over the place. Politicians were collecting, people who were acting as CSOs or whatever, consumer, whatever. They were all collecting money all over the place. They called. I gave them whatever they wanted. They never for once followed up or even made mention of it during their numerous press conferences. Okay, so I was like, listen, you didn't investigate that one. How are you expecting me to come to you to investigate this?
Investigations take time.
My friend, listen, if they are acting, I know what it is. You and I are non-novices. The fact that I become a lawyer today, I beg you, we've been traveling here many. See, so then I decided not to go. So if, let's say, out of $94 million, the man is, we are supposed to praise him for retrieving $2 million.
Why do you conclude that is
I think
you mentioned it.
You mentioned it.
I said I said
but he has not
recovery.
giving us the source.
Let me tell you.
The recovery.
Okay, let me give you the source.
And
The last time they did a press conference, they mentioned Dr. Sledge as one of the persons that they were investigating.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's the
But they
person.
have recovered.
Listen.
Even the payroll scam, they done some
listen,
recovery.
I'm saying you mentioned the myth.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
but
you mentioned
do you know
it.
You
the
mentioned
matter of
myth, and I'm
fact,
saying that the myth investigation that the OSP is doing.
Nobody is disputing that, but they are investigating.
I'm saying that the myth investigation that the OSP is doing is limited to Dr. Sledge.
The packet of issues they are.
He
why?
made his point. You are trying to
Expand
sort of
his point.
forecast.
Expand his
into
point.
what will most likely have been the source of
Listen.
the
I'm
recovery.
not forecasting. I know what is happening there. You talk.
Okay. Let's make progress.
Okay.
Let's
Which
so,
other one?
so we have the people who were sent home. Let's
So should OSP stay or not? You have not finished.
yeah. So okay, quickly. Do you want OSP to stay or
Or Kissy?
I don't know.
you don't know?
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because listen, a lot of things have been played out there. Do you understand? Umaru's point. It's been spoken about many times
Larry,
about
should the office stay or not?
about how that power has been delegated to him. The Attorney General's power had been delegated to him.
So should they scrap the office?
Is it a
As
delegation
the Honorable Mahama.
Okay, so I am
the OSP under the Attorney General.
I am for
Is
not
the
bringing.
OSP under the
I am
control of
for.
the Attorney General?
No.
No.
I am for bringing the OSP under the Attorney
Let's bring
General.
clarity
Okay,
to
wait,
this
let me
matter.
ask Sky.
Yes.
Can the Attorney General enter nolli prosequa in a proceeding by the OSP?
Well, the explanation and based on the architecture as established by the statute establishing the OSP, it is argued that the Attorney General should not be able to.
It's an independent of it.
But the fact is, constitutionally, the authority to prosecute for crimes committed against the state
Is AG.
and other people is the Attorney General who should do that. Yes. But by reason of our own understanding of what we want to do with corruption, we decided to hire of that office and give the power to somebody else to lead it. So it would legally, in pure legal terms, it is possible to say that the AG should be able to do that. But when you talk about good governance
the OSP is
and related
underage.
matters, constitutionally,
They miss
should be able to do it. But
OSP is underage.
No, but in terms of what is good governance and all of these things we talk about, the age issue.
But
that
is that has not been amended. So why do you hide the power to somebody when that has not been amended?
Yes,
Talking about the petitions for removal of the EC.
Yes.
I think that is not the issue. Okay, I mean, hey, somebody again. There is an officer there who had been interdicted, and then he took. I think he was supposed to be prosecuted, and then he was going to the court. The people weren't showing up. Eventually, the case was discontinued, and so on. And this guy, instead of being reinstated, he has not been reinstated. He's the one who has filed, a petition for the removal of the EC.
Yeah, but there's only a requirement that you should be a citizen of the republic, or not even a citizen, maybe to some extent.
And this, I mean, immediately the petition was received, it was handed over to the CJ. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless of course we want to say that the CJ is that
conveyor belt. The presidency said they are just a conveyor belt.
Yes, it's been there. They are supposed to use their technical whatever, their expertise to decide. The same way Sofa Akufo also used her expertise to set up a committee that got Charlotte Osei removed. Okay? It's the same expertise, legal expertise. That is what we are dealing with. Let's believe me.
So Larry, your heart of hearts.
Let me finish.
No, wait. Your heart of hearts. When you hear NDC senior party officers say, oh, they will go. We'll remove them. Are you happy?
Oh.
Even before these petitions are sent to the president.
Kankam, it is not in my place to be happy or not to be happy.
You are satisfied with that?
Do you understand? For me, the process has to be tested. No, I haven't said they should go. I'm saying that the process has to be tested.
But as far as you are concerned,
at the end of the day, do you know something? This constitution thing, we've had it for how many years?
But is it not curious that, in the case of the OSP, for instance, OSP makes a move on Martin Pebu.
Yeah.
Some people came out to say that he was one of the NDC people. I don't know about that. But
who said?
Some party people claim that he was one of them.
I didn't hear.
So Martin Pebu is an MPP person. He told me in an interview.
Well, I'm saying what some people...
I didn't hear. So I don't...
The point I'm making is that the moment he was arrested, then agitations were, everything...
I don't think that arrest was necessary. But there again, I spoke to somebody at the OSP's office, and I'm told that he went, beyond a certain bounds. That he came there with a camera, said, "Listen, you cannot, have an interview within the premises. Outside the premises, go ahead, have your interview, do whatever. If you want,
he went out.
If you want to strip and dance over there, they can. But nobody cares. But the very moment you moved it into the premises of the OSP, it's like you can't do that, and that was the basis upon which.
No, but Larry, he said he went out with the journalists and they did the interview outside. It was when he returned in the building that the soldier man said, "Next time you do that thing, I'll show you."
And then that is his report. All right, 97.3 Citi FM is the station. This is this is the year in review. We are doing an autopsy on the year, Larry. Let's make progress.
The sacking.
Yes.
I subscribe to all that Kankam and then Umaru said. That listen, you are told these people that there's no job. We needed financial clearance. It's on that basis that you kept nurses at home. It's on that basis that teachers were not posted. Even in instances where they were posted, you were not giving them salary and another thing because you were waiting for financial clearance. Then suddenly, you've lost an election. And quickly you found spaces and where, you started inserting people and all that and so on. Chief, you don't do a thing like that. Particularly when you have Osafo Mafo's conduct, where he removed people and inserted his children all in those places.
Oh, he didn't insert his children.
Why we saw it?
He didn't.
We reported it.
He said the children where he removed. He said, he didn't insert his children where he removed.
Why? We saw that.
So your point is that
my point is that you can't have this happening. The commentaries by Osafo Mafo, not just that, but the governments then that removed people that the NDC, Muhammad the first posted to some of these areas, and then when you were also leaving office, you did the same thing that the NDC did that you were against.
Okay.
That is double standard, if not hypocrisy.
Okay. 97.3 Citi FM. We are reviewing the year 2025, getting ready for the year 2026. We've dealt with a number of issues thus far. We now move on to look at the issues in Parliament, the by-elections that were called, but which have been stalled by the Supreme Court, the Ablekuma, violence, the performance of the NDC, not the NDC, the minority in Parliament thus far. Let's look at those quickly. Before, the constitutional review. It's a big matter. Yes, let me start off with you. Umaru, are you happy with the performance of the minority in Parliament? And then also deal with the elections, the by-election in Akwetia briefly for us, and then also what happened with Hawakumse.
I'm not happy with the performance. I'm not happy with the performance of the minority. I think they were not reading the room. I think they should read the room more. And if they read the room more, they'll be able to act better in the interest of the people they serve. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Then the
on the by-election. At least it was not violent. The Akwetia one was not violent. The one here in Ablekuma North, that was violent. And what happened in Akwetia is characteristic of what happens in elections where the government is going against the opposition. Typically, the people would be wondering, okay, should we go with the people who are in power now, or we should be orphans? And because our constituency is not a very blue constituency, it is a constituency that has been flipping. It will not be a very fair assessment.
Indigo.
It's a rainbow constituency, and so it may not be a fair sample of things. But I think at the time that election was done, the goodwill of the NDC was still in the air, and that's what they benefited from in Akwetia. I don't know what's going to happen in Pandai. But then again, similar things may come. The forces may come down where people will be wondering, okay, so should I go with the party in power? And by this time, and this is just 1 year in office, they haven't committed a lot of crimes yet, so they are still looking nice.
At least the ones that have not been proven. People allege all kinds of things.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that they have not committed a lot of crimes to the level where people will be angry with them yet. So they still have a goodwill. I'm just wondering though, what are they going to do with the extra super majority they are looking for? And I keep asking their people, I say, why are you fighting this thing? Just let the MP people also have some. They say no. They need it.
Is not like that.
Third term.
I don't think it's the third term. Stop this agenda. It won't work.
You
do one, then President Mahama will hear. Then you go.
Let me move to Elvis. Yes, briefly on this point of the minorities' performance thus far. The by-elections we've seen, at least we saw one by-election. One is pending. At least the Supreme Court has frozen it, and then also the limited rerun in Ablekuma North.
Okay, I think the minority, as Omar said, they have to read the room more. If you look at the numbers in Parliament, the minority needs to look back and say, hey, how did we get here? It's not about the fighting that got us here. Probably the E-levy, the fight and the things rather got them where they are.
Akufo-Addo
and
led
when you
them
are in
there.
opposition, you shouldn't rather be fighting.
Larry saying
I
something.
think that the fighting
You
that they
agree.
are sometimes, what we try the vetting and the rest, my advice to them is that Ghanaians are getting used to a democracy where they want to see the minority hold the government to things that they know that this is really important to us, the ordinary people. But if they go there and they are fighting over things that it is like in the interest of they who are in the house, it angers the people. And I think that they have to look at their strategy very well and think that no, on this issue there's no need to call for anything because the people will be angry with us. For instance, you are saying that the leadership of the majority should be changed. It's not your duty or your business to tell who leads the majority. So you say because they did something or they said this about it, they should be removed. I don't think the people want to hear you about how are you holding the government accountable if people...
Yeah, but if they say the people are not, they are leading with an agenda different from the person they are representing, is that not a valid position to
How
take?
can it be valid? The majority decide who leads them.
No, they said the president says OSP should stay.
Yes.
But for some reason, the majority leader who prosecutes the president
Leave that to the president. If the president wants his party to change the leadership in parliament, that is their business.
So they shouldn't express their
No,
You have
that's
a
not the
bigger
business of
fish
the
to fry.
minority. The minority's role should be what do they stand for? Are they also supporting the removal of the OSP or they are against it? If they are against it, state it. We think the OSP must stay, and therefore we oppose it. Then the people know that you are on the side of the OSP. And then it has to become a vote issue tomorrow. The people now remember that, the minority wanted the OSP to stay. That should be the issue. So for me, I think that they should rather look for more relevant issues that when they hit, the ordinary people can feel that these people are speaking for us. But when their statements and some of the things they do looks more like they are fighting for themselves, that is what the Ghanaian people don't want to hear. So I think that they have to read the room more. I think that from next year, there will be a lot that they will have to hold the government fit to fire, and they will have a lot to do about it. You should be asking the government, they want job to 3 people. Where is it? The unemployment. You see, you be holding people to, Mr. President, you say you do this. 1 year in line, 1 year that we haven't seen it. The people want to hear this.
I wanted to just, before he goes to Akwete, I think he's very worried about this one job thing. Can you employ 3 shifts at your place to start off the 24-hour economy thing? The government said they want the people to leave.
The government give me incentives and I can save, I can get some.
Yes, you are not a member of the government. You're supposed to check the government.
The government give me private
volunteers.
sector incentive that will enable me
to check. Money to check it out.
Let's make progress. Yes, quickly, Akwetia and Ablekuma. You have 50 seconds.
Yeah, I think Akwetia. Well, NDC won because definitely who will want to go and vote for opponent when a government has just won power, huge numbers in parliament, all the goodwill is on their side. Obviously, if that person says, I am the one who is in government, I'm the one who can bring development, the people are likely to understand. So that for me, that is okay. And as for Ablekuma, I think what happened there is condemnable. We must all condemn it. Election is about choices. Go and make your choice, not to go and beat people. And they play the same book to us. When the Delta Force went to attack court, they gave them small fine and let them go.
Yeah, the same thing.
These people who went to beat Howard Kumse, they also find small. That is a political strategy. So Ghanaians have seen that this is how when it's about their people, that's how they be. Do you think ordinary person will go and beat Howard Kumse and will be treated that way? Or you think ordinary person will go and invade a court and will be given the fine Delta Force was giving? It will not happen.
Okay. Andy.
So
quickly.
A very responsible opposition. I mean, they shouldn't oppose everything.
Okay.
Sometimes they must support the government policies and programs. That is the way we can develop Ghana. On Ablekuma, this violence in politics, I don't support it. And Elvis just said it. The Delta Force and the group that we have, Kanda boys and whatever, the Bolga Bulldogs, the Asoka boys and whatever. So, lawyer, the anti-vigilantism, whatever, the law. What's happening? What is happening?
Well, the law is on the books. The law is on the books as to whether they're enforcing it.
They apply to Ablekuma enough.
So, Pandai will come. Definitely, there will be an election there.
Why is it definitely?
No, we can't say that. The Supreme Court has frozen the process.
But after
you mean a blow inevitably?
After this procedure, listening to whatever, they will have an election there.
Not at all. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you see, we can't overreach the Supreme Court.
Matthew Nyinda is not happy with you.
Larry,
are we banned from predicting what might come from the
top? Let's not take bread from the mouth of
No. You see, the way people are confident that they are going to Panda and they
started campaigning.
Larry, you have 1 minute.
This political apparatus.
Just 1 minute.
Yes, 1 minute.
You are here. Thank you. Yeah. So, Pandai, it will happen. Elections will happen.
No, you can't.
No, elections will happen.
The Supreme Court is seated.
Are you not reading the system?
Are you not reading the system? The election will happen.
He's an officer of the court. It's his duty to protect the court.
So
you people can continue with your slander.
We are social animals.
What you are doing is contemptuous potential.
Of what? It's not. I haven't commented on the facts or the merits of the game.
There will be an election.
It's going to be because it's going to. The Supreme Court will make a decision on the matter.
And you know that
the irregularities that the initial
alleged irregularities.
The judge. No, they are not alleged so far as the judge has already said.
The arm of government that is called executive one time election, it will happen.
No. People,
we have
so I mean, Akwetia happened. Akwetia, as Umaru said, it's an indigo. You know, it goes where power is. So you remember when this guy won, Baba Jamal won. At the time, Mills was in office. If he had been MPP that was in office, I could say I would have voted MPP at the time. Now, having said that, there was one other minority. See,
30 seconds.
Yes, 30 seconds. I think that there's more to do as far as the governance of this country is concerned. I mean, these guys are friends. The NDC and MPP guys, if the very day Ghanaians get to know that they are true colors, that these are friends, they eat from each other's homes. They drive in the same cars. They think alike. It's only when they step out of that place, then, you know, they say, oh, we are wearing this shirt, this one is wearing that shirt, and so on. They are friends. You and I know they are friends. Now, having done that, I mean, whatever it is that their friendship is supposed to be of benefit to this country. You get it? What we have now, it's not, beneficial.
Okay.
Why? Why are you in a hurry?
No, Larry, it's time.
Yes, it's time. But giving me why? You allowed them.
We have to wrap up.
He's going for 31st night.
We have to wrap up.
Larry,
forgive me, but we have to wrap up.
You get it? I mean, they should close their ranks and do things better for this country so that we all we all enjoy. Not that they sit and then
you have reported
beautiful. So now we are bringing the review to a close. For some reason, we've not had your comments because we had difficulty with the text lines. But I've taken note of the fact that some people have sent me messages behind the scenes saying that they had difficulty getting through to our lines. But it is what it is. Thank you so much for helping me do this important review. I just want to give 30 seconds to all of you as to what you expect in the year 2026 MPP election. Quickly, yes.
2026. I expect to see the National Cathedral converted into something that would benefit Ghana.
Okay. Elvis.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Are you sure?
Elvis cannot speak for 30 seconds.
The microeconomics, for me, I'm more of economics goes well so that money can reflect in our pockets and more jobs can be created because the unemployment rate in the country is becoming more alarming.
Andy.
Enhanced security and galamsey fight. Our leaders, they should be decisive.
Larry.
I think that the governance process must be further enhanced. People who fell foul of the law should be punished.
Beautiful.
So that, we serve as a deterrent to all others who are thinking or even dreaming about it. Anything short of that, I mean, I wouldn't be happy. The constitutional review also must, be carried out effectively. This thing about, the third term thing that we are hearing, that people are forcing the president to go on third term. I doubt if that is going to happen because it's going to put NDC in disarray. And once the governing party is in disarray, the governance process will be,
Like, what about the view that...
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Larry Dogbe from the Herald newspaper, Umar Sanda Amadou in-house, Elvis Dako from the New Center newspaper, and Andy Kankambwedu, my brother from the Informer newspaper. My name is Richard Sky. It's been the very last edition of the Citi Breakfast Show, year in review, autopsy of the year 2025. We have effectively brought the show to a close. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. I will see you in the year 2026. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for everything you have done to keep Citi FM running, Channel One running. We bless you and thank you so much.